There is Louis Tiant's dad, who came over to watch his son pitch. You know, I got a letter saying down in Cuba he pitched against Carl Hubble and beat him a 1-0 ball game. They were calling him the Carl Hubble of Cuba. Luis Tiant Sr., left-hand pitcher. He's ready.
And hopefully for the Red Sox, so is Louis Tiant, who needs the victory tonight. The Red Sox do to avoid elimination, and the last time we had a World Series decided in 6 games was in 1959 when the Dodgers beat the Chicago White Sox.
Joe, do you get the feeling I did in talking to the Cincinnati hitters? They have not been impressed by Tiant's fastball. You've got to be impressed by these statistics that Alan Roth has come up in his success, but they really have not seen Tiant's fastball like the one he had against Oakland in the championship series.
I tell you, he's been a different pitcher every time out there, and tonight is a brand new night. And to bring you the play-by-play, the man who has followed the Red Sox all summer, Dick Stockton.
All right, Joe and Tony, Pete Rose stepping in. He said Tiant was tougher in Game 4 and takes the first pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Rose has 6 hits in 18 times up, has a double and a triple, and has driven in a run. And there's a line drive out to left field. Yastrzemski makes the one-handed catch. Well, this is not artificial turf, and you can dive and fall on this grass to your liking.
I thought I detected Yastrzemski slipping a little bit on his initial step, but he recovers and makes a good play. The field is in good condition. There might be a soft spot here and there.
Keep in mind that they can play shallow here in Fenway, and nobody plays left field better than Yastrzemski here at Fenway Park.
And here's Ken Griffey, the number 2 hitter, the right fielder, has 4 hits in this World Series, 2 though against Louis Tiant. He has 2 runs batted in, the hero of Game 2 with his double that drove in the winning run. Breaking ball on the outside corner. I think Pete Rose made a good comment on his interview before the game, Tony. He says we would like to get some runs early against Tiant and just take an edge off of the big enthusiasm that the fans have for him here. One out, we're in the top of the first inning. Tiant misses outside with a fastball. It's 1-1. And that's our camera looking at it behind Carl Yastrzemski in the left field scoreboard. And that's how Yastrzemski sees Ken Griffey with the count 1-1. Again, he goes outside and misses 2-1 to Griffey. Tiant trying to become one of the few pitchers in World Series history to win 3 series games. Last one, Mickey Lolich for the Tigers in 1968. 2-1 pitch is fouled back. And Tony almost made a nice catch.
Joe, I thought you made a good point a while ago when you talked about Tiant not pitching the same kind of ball game the last few times we see him. He reminds me in this regard a lot like Juan Marichal, who might throw you 3 or 4 innings of screwballs, off-speed stuff, then go 3 or 4 innings of straight fastballs. They can change their pattern from game to game. It's confusing to the opposition.
Where he spots the ball, too, Tony, if there's any spot that he owns that low outside corner on both hitters.
He's been pitching Griffey outside. He's behind or even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. The on-deck hitter is Joe Morgan. And a breaking ball is fouled past the first base coach, George Sugar, so the count will remain 2-2. There's Joe Morgan, who has walked 4 times and has a stolen base in the series. Listed as 34 years old. He'll be 35 November 23rd. That's been disputed. Satch Davidson calls it a ball, and we have a 3-2 count.
I got to believe that's a pitch he just couldn't pull the trigger on. It was too close to where you say, I'm going to take it.
They play Griffey straight away. And the payoff pitch. And it's inside, ball 4. So Ken Griffey draws a walk. He has 1 stolen base in this series, and that's the first base runner of the game. And we'll bring up Joe Morgan. Morgan has 4 hits, 17 times up in this series. And 2 of the 4 hits against Louis Tiant. He has driven in 2 runs. Cecil Cooper will hold Ken Griffey at first. Petrocelli on the grass at third. Louis goes over there. Everyone was talking about Reggie Cleveland throwing over to first base 15, 16 times with Johnny Bench up in Cincinnati. Quick toss over and not far enough for Griffey to move.
He kind of lost his balance on that move, Tiant did, but I tell you, I see nothing wrong with throwing over there. As a catcher, you like it because it'll take the spring out of you base runners' legs if they keep throwing over there.
And Joe can hit the fastball.
Yes, he can.
And Tiant's first pitch to Morgan is taken ball one.
Morgan handled his clinic before the ball game like he does all the time, Joe. He had Concepcion and Griffey out there around the first base bag. They measured off their 13, 14 feet. He made a mark on the grass. That's how far they're going to go off Tiant. Get the maximum lead they can possibly.
See what Morgan does with his left elbow. He did that in high school. Rudy May was a high school teammate of his, and it started way back then. Pitch to Morgan, the fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Looks like Tiant is going to the outside on every one of the Cincinnati hitters so far.
Well, I tell you, if you had a young pitcher, that's what you would tell him if he had that kind of control. Never mind what you throw it low outside, and you about 3/4 of the way to the Hall of Fame.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Griffey the runner at first. And a let-up pitch, straight change. Misses 2 balls and a strike. Tiant pitched complete game victories in the first and fourth games of this World Series. 5-hitter in the first game shutout and gave up 9 hits in the 5-4 victory in Game 4. Two and one. Griffey doesn't go. Tiant is outside. Louis likes to work faster than he's working here, but with a speed merchant, Ken Griffey on at first, he's taking his time.
Morgan doesn't like base runners moving too often. They say, or he says, it distracts his attention. He cannot concentrate on the ball. He has given Sparky, if this might come out and not come out right, permission to run guys in situations like this or with 2 strikes.
Gave him permission?
And the throw over to first. First base umpire there is Art France.
It's early in the game, but this is one of your key situations already with Griffey at first, 3-1.
Cecil Cooper.
Three balls, 1 strike to Joe Morgan. And he pops it up. It's playable. Carlton Fisk behind the plate. And Pudge makes the count.
Tough play.
Looked like that wind took it the last minute, caused Fisk some problems. But Morgan is out, 2 down.
That's a tough play. That ball got above the stands there. Now Fisk finds it and with all the confidence goes after it, but watch it start to drift back and he just dances right with it. And Tiant right there. I tell you, that's a tough play. He made a good play on that ball.
And Johnny Bench, the cleanup hitter for the Reds, has 5 hits in this series, but only 1 hit against Tiant. He's 1 for 8 against Louis. Has 1 homer and 3 runs batted in. 2 out. Griffey the runner at first. Burleson is playing deep at short. Petrocelli deep at third. They play Bench to pull. And there's a fastball for a strike. Well, Bench is a known pull hitter, Tony. But in Game 2, we saw what Johnny could do as he took the Bill Lee pitch to the opposite field to start a Cincinnati rally.
They've been trying to keep the ball away from him, and he, of course, went that way, started to do it against Lee. But he knows the wall is out there, and the wind blowing out.
Strike 1 to count the Bench. We're in the top of the first inning, no score. And there's a foul out of play to the right side. And Tiant quickly is ahead of Johnny Bench, 2 strikes.
Joe, as far as I can recall, there is the flag that is an indicator which way the wind is blowing. A little bit higher than that, it's gusting even more. I think that pop-up, as you described it, Joe, to Fisk, is a good indicator of how that wind is blowing the higher the ball is hit. Out towards center field.
Noble.
Tiant throw just one off-speed pitch.
One off-speed pitch. Here's where I like to see him work when he's way ahead.
And he strikes out. That's control for you. Bench went after it, And Louis Tiant strikes out Vince to retire the side. The Reds lead one. Red Sox come up no score. Those are our umpires. Satch Davidson, of course, behind the plate. Larry Barnett, a key figure in this World Series, was booed by the fans when his name was announced. He'll use the umpire at third.
He's got a little extra pressure as we look at Satch Davidson. Barnett, as you probably know by now, there he is at third, received the wire threatening his family, his wife and daughter, and the FBI have been giving him protection. Extra pressure.
Cecil Cooper, back in the Red Sox lineup, leading off, has a hit 13 times up and takes a called strike. Gary Nolan, who has made 5 previous World Series starts, his record 0-2 in World Series play. He started the third game of the series, pitched 4 innings, allowed a run on 3 hits. Swings and misses. A good fastball by Nolan, 0-2.
Nolan noted for his excellent control, slow curveball, sneaky fastball. And Joe, I've got to wonder this. With the wind blowing out, the wall in left field in Fenway, one of his, well, I guess his best pitch might be a straight change of pace, and might that affect him not wanting to throw it in this kind of conditions?
There is the changeup, and it's hit out to center fielder Cesar Geronimo, who is there making the catch for out number 1.
I think the thing he has to worry about, Tony, is developing a romance with it to where he just wants to do it, and somebody get fooled and still pull that wall in behind third base. Most of the fastballs, I think, you'll see mostly fastballs into the outside part of the plate.
Well, Denny Doyle, the only player on both teams who has hit safely in all 5 of the previous games, has 6 hits in all. Had a triple in the first inning in Game 5 at Cincinnati. Swings and fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Gary Nolan, a 15-game winner this year, and a very impressive lifetime record. Here's the 1-strike pitch to Denny Doyle. It's a breaking ball outside.
Nolan is another one of these pitchers who seems to look to the ground as he starts his delivery and then comes at you from an angle. And to many hitters, and I put myself in that category, it's distracting when they're not looking at you.
Bounding ball, fumbled by Perez. Gets it over just in time to Nolan. Perez had trouble with it, but Doyle is out, 2 down. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball as we take another look at that play.
Tony Perez, they're trying to get back in the groove after 3 days off. A little bit shaky, but he recovers nicely enough, and Nolan, of course, over in time to make the play on Doyle.
Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. Major League Baseball has the right of approval of announcers for this event. Carl Yastrzemski with 5 hits in this series. With 2 down, nobody on in the first inning. Ball 1.
Gary Nolan has not been a very effective pitcher away from Cincinnati. He's much better at home than he will be here in Fenway Park.
His next pitch is high. It's 2-0.
He was 11-2 at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. He's under 500, 4-7 road games in 75.
Balls behind Yastrzemski, 3-0. Very fine control pitcher is Gary Nolan as Don Zimmer flashes the signs at the third base coaching lines. However, Yastrzemski led the Red Sox in walks this year and has drawn 4 bases on balls in the series.
Darrell Johnson turns him loose, 3-0.
Taking all the way, and it's strike, 3-1.
That's about the first time the whole series where he hasn't.
Well, he likes to see him hit here, and you can see why.
You saw Carlton Fisk waiting in the on-deck circle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Yastrzemski. And a base hit. Solid single to right field. And we get an idea how the ball is rolling and moving in the outfield. Looked like it slowed up too much.
That high fly ball in batting practice that was landing and kind of just plugging. The ball, I tell you, the groundskeepers have just done a magnificent job here with that surface, that clay surface. It seems to dry up the field, and Joe Mooney and his guys really deserve a lot of credit.
And while we were sleeping over the weekend and depressed over the rain, they were working. The lights were on here, and they worked just about 16 hours, 17 hours a day.
Well, you were sleeping, Joe, and I were working.
Carlton Fisk takes ball 1. 2 out. Yastrzemski is on base. They shade him over to the left. In fact, Joe Morgan is shaded very close to second base. They give Fisk all of the right side of the infield. And that fly back-to-back singles by Yastrzemski and Fisk with 2 out in the Red Sox first.
Sparky has already let it be known that if Nolan experiences any difficulty, he's going to get him out of there in a hurry, and he'll go to 7 pitches if he has to and save just Don Gullett. There's the Cincinnati bench. No one going to the phone yet.
There's Larry Shepard with the jacket. He's the Cincinnati pitching coach, and now we do have activity in the Reds bullpen. So Sparky not wasting any time. Jack Billingham, who was a bit peeved that the rotation was switched, and there's left-hander Fred Norman joining him in the bullpen. You use everyone in the 6th and 7th games of the World Series. Here's Fred Lynn. 5 hits in the series, 2 runs batted in. Fastball tails away for ball.
Freddie Lynn thinks the off days was a definite break to him. He's been in a little bit of a slump. He's had time to go under the stands in center field, take a lot of extra hitting practice, try and get back in the groove.
Yastrzemski's at second, Fisk at first, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. And there's a high fly ball deep to right field. Going back, Griffey, forget it. It's gone. And this place is rocking. And Tony, the words just out of your mouth. Fred Lynn got the rest. And he hit a deep home run in the bleachers.
He is one of the smart young hitters to come into this game in a long time. Joe, take a look at this swing.
I tell you, he levels it out in a hurry. Perfect bat control. And look at that follow through. He worked at it yesterday and the day before, and it paid off for him.
That was not a Gary Nolan type pitch. He does not throw many balls right down in the middle of the plate like that one appeared to be. He's on the corners usually.
Ball 1 to Rico Petrocelli. Now he takes a strike. Fred Lynn has his first Major League home runs. Have a hunch he's going to hit some more before he's through. Petrocelli, along with Rick Burleson, the leading hitters in this series with 7 hits apiece. Red Sox lead it 3-0. 2-1 the count to Petrocelli. Nolan and, check that, Norman and Billingham working in the Reds bullpen. And that's deep to center field. Going back, Geronimo on the warning track makes the catch. Petrocelli hit that ball hard. 3 runs, the big ball, Fred Lynn's home run. After an inning, it's 3-0.
Tony Perez.
They're still buzzing over Fred Lynn's 3-run homer to give the Red Sox a lead. And if the Red Sox do win, we'll be back here tomorrow night for Game 7, the deciding game of the World Series.
It's quite a shot with our handheld camera. It's on the roof down the left field line, and you see Petrocelli with that nervous habit of smoothing out those rough spots in the infield, and there he is. Luis Tiant got a 3-run lead.
Tony Perez leading off the second inning for the Reds, takes a breaking ball inside. Perez has 2 hits in the series, both home runs. He is hitless in 8 times up against Tiant. And did he break out of his World Series slump in that 5th game in grand style? Slow curve, delay call by Davidson to count 1-1. Fouled out of play to the right side. It's 1-2.
Joe, the second ball game that there's our cameraman, Corey Leibel, in a very precarious spot up on the left field stands. But the second ball game, the Cincinnati hitters were laying first pitch for that off-speed stuff. Tiant's got a good fastball, which will be very important in the night.
This is outside. Perez went fishing for that fast, slow curve anyway in game number 1. He has struck out 3 times against Tiant. The thing about Louis, has so many deliveries, so many speeds, so many pitches that he can do.
That's I think the word you use, delivery. Perez is just baffled by Tiant's delivery more than his stuff.
The 2-2 pitch to Perez. Oh, there it was. That's how he got him 2 times in game number 1.
He turns the fans on, as you can see, with almost every pitch he makes. Watch this pitch. Perez just never picks up the ball, Joe. The ball's a foot outside. Never saw it. To the last second, a very weak swing.
Tony, I got to believe that that last kick of the leg, the knee, was a distracting factor, so much so that you could see Perez almost looked like a question mark trying to chase that thing. He just kind of reached out and hoped that he could foul it off. I tell you, the man Tiant, forget his stuff and watch his delivery, and you can see that if you knew what was coming, you still don't know from where.
2 strikeouts in succession for Tiant. Now he faces George Foster, who has had the most success against Tiant of any Cincinnati hitter. 4 of his 5 hits against Louis, 4 singles. Fastball misses. Foster got a pair of singles in Game 1 and 2 more singles in Game 4 against Tiant. 1 out. We're in the top of the 2nd inning. The Red Sox lead the Reds 3-0 on Fred Lynn's 3-run homer in the 1st.
Foster is known for this. We've seen it throughout the first 5 series games. He is very deliberate, takes a lot of time.
He should be used to it by now, Tony. Here's a let-up pitch, in for the strike. 1-1.
Now, I said it before, and it's just true that sometime during the night, regardless of where you're sitting, Tiant will look you right in the eye. Now, you watch him tonight, he'll look you right in the eye, even on television. Look at him.
Swings and misses. 1-2. Well, if there's a guy in a plane up there, that's who he was looking at.
Just watch his head. Concentrate on his head. If you were the hitter, just watch his head. Now, you think he's coming at you? Look at that. Straight up in the air. Amazing body control.
Tiant thrives on this kind of pressure. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Foster. Again, he steps out of the box. I don't think the Red Sox pitchers by now are rattled by this at all. I think they come to expect it from him.
That they do, and Tony, I can't help but think back what Pete Rose said. He turns the fans on, and they turn him on.
Petrocelli moves back a few steps at first. Foster gets a piece of it, fouls it back.
Tiant made the statement after his great ball game against Oakland in the championship series about the fans here. They make me do what I don't think I can do. Does that make sense?
It certainly does, because he does what you don't think he can do.
1 out, nobody on. A ball, 2 strikes to George Foster. And he pops it up, foul territory. Cecil Cooper. 2 out. Well, 2 strikeouts and 2 foul outs. The first 6 men to face Tiant.
Dick, we heard so much about, as we look at the Red Sox bench, Eddie Poposky, we heard so much about Luis Tiant's cold, his heavy cold. And today, nothing before the game.
No, and Dwight Evans, of course, was the one who revealed it. A lot of the players have had colds. They've had them all season long from time to time. And, of course, you played the game. I think that could be overdone. I think you're playing the game, and I don't... Fred Lynn once told me, he says he plays better when he has a cold. I wonder if he has one tonight. 2 out. Dave Concepcion takes a fastball, strike 1. Concepcion has 3 hits, 1 of them a home run in this series, 3 runs batted in. Well, that's one of the stories during the rain delay that we had. Everything fouls it back. If you have a hangnail, that's going to come out. If you...
Well, everything is so magnified that he probably had an advanced case of postnasal drip, and they said it's a heavy chest cold because it was the World Series. But I tell you, he's a master out there. Here they go, the fans.
Trying to pick up Louis. He loves it. Two strikes, the count to Concepcion. And he fly ball center field. Fred Lynn has the play there. And the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down for the Reds in the 2nd inning. The Red Sox come up in the 2nd, leading 3-0. Gary Nolan's first pitch to Dwight Evans, fastball, strike 1. And Tony and Joe, I think in every World Series, there's one player who emerges with the kind of recognition perhaps that he had not received before. I think Dwight Evans is one of those players.
Agreed.
He faked a bunt. The breaking ball was way outside, 1-1.
Sparky Anderson is the man, along with a lot of the other Cincinnati players who've said of Evans that he is much better than they had heard or they ever expected. There's Sparky and Alex Grammas.
1-1 pitch, and swings and misses on a let-up pitch. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Dick Stockton with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek. Fred Norman, the lone pitcher working in the Cincinnati bullpen right now. Billingham had joined Norman in that first inning. 1-2 the count to Dwight Evans. And a slow hit ground ball, third foul. Evans has 6 hits in this series, 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. It was a big home run, a 2-run drive that brought the Red Sox back from a 5-1 deficit.
He's been a key man that Tripoli got, too. I think Burleson, Petrocelli, and Evans have really stolen that spotlight.
Again, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, he's out of there. First strikeout for Gary Nolan as Evans is called out. He broke off a good curve there. Best one for him in this game.
He has a good curveball, good control of it. He changes speeds on it. He's the kind of guy, Joe, he gets the reputation of being a curveball or off-speed pitcher, and his fastball becomes that much more effective.
As you mentioned, Tony, Rick Burleson has also drawn the raves of Reds manager Sparky Anderson. 7 hits in this series, hitting .389, and a fastball, strike 1.
I like during the rain delay, his father was saying he was more nervous than him. He said, I look at Rick and he's got his feet propped up watching television and I can hardly eat.
I'll tell you, he's more nervous inside. He doesn't show it outside. Fouls off the curveball, and Nolan's ahead of him, 2 strikes.
In case you forgot, there's that little corner again among a lot of the other tricky spots here in Fenway Park. Shortstop's got to be very wary of going out to short and left field. He can prevent a double at times.
1 out, 2 strikes to Burleson. Last of the second, 3-0 Boston. Fastball.
That was an interesting shot to this extent. I just wonder if Burleson can reach that outside corner. It looks like he's a long way away from the plate. They've been jamming him so much, he's backed off.
Tony Perez will make the play himself for the second out. Well, Burleson likes the ball out over the plate, but sometimes he goes after those high fastballs, those high outside fastballs, and that's what pitchers like to feed him. Well, here's Louis Tiant with 2 out in the second inning. Tiant getting the hand of the packed house here at Fenway. 2 hits and 6 times up, has walked twice and has scored 2 runs.
He's got a chance to lead this series with standing ovations before it's over with.
There's a strike.
Nobody going to catch him now.
No, I don't think so.
2 down in the second. Waved at a curveball.
The way he's been swinging the bat, I don't think he's going to see too many fastballs anymore. He's been swinging it pretty well the first 2 times out.
There's the scoreboard look at Tiant as he takes ball 1, strike 2. That's the shot from inside the left field scoreboard at Fenway Park. 1-2 to Tiant. There it is. And there's called strike 3. Well, Gary Nolan settled down in the second inning, strikes out 2 of the 3 batters he faces. We have completed 2 in game number 6 of the World Series. Red Sox leading 3-0.
Well, I think that pretty well says it all. If there's game number 7, we'll be here. NBC will be here with game 7. And we begin with the baseball world at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
What do you got in store in your baseball world tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be the day that they'll start with their backs are to the wall. There's no tomorrow, cliches. And we got to go into the meeting. See, we go into what we call a hostility room. We fight it out. But I'm voting for the animation piece on cliches.
You and Jenny Sight really go to it, your producer.
Oh, yeah.
Cesar Geronimo leading off the 3rd inning against Louis Tiant. Geronimo 3 hits and 5 times up against Tiant. Fastball, strike 1. Geronimo 5 hits in all in the series. And we have a pinch hitter waiting on deck for the Reds. Terry Crowley as Sparky Anderson wants to get some runs here. Called strike 2. Norman has been working in the bullpen, and with Cooper, Doyle, Yastrzemski, and Lynn, 4 left-handed batters in the first 5, I would think Norman will come in. And there's Crowley, former Baltimore Oriole performer, waiting on deck. Tiant's 2-strike pitch. Geronimo takes it inside.
Tiant today is showing the Cincinnati Reds he does have a good fastball. He's thrown mostly fastballs up till this point, and he's had a pretty good one at times.
Here's the 1-2. Gets a piece of it, fouls it on the screen.
You think he throws a Cuban palm ball?
I don't know, Tony, if he loads one or not. I don't think he really needs it. The thing that I'm just amazed watching him pitch is this great control to the outside corner, that low outside pitch. I just think it's marvelous to watch him, how consistent he is with that pitch.
Again, the 1-2. And Geronimo swings and misses. Looks like the Red batters are a bit confused in the first 3 innings at least. Strikeout number 3 for Tiant.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a scouting report as Geronimo walks back and Crowley comes up. I'd like to see there is a availability in Crowley being used now. Those fellas all can come off that bench. I'd like to see a scouting report on Tiant to see what he throws.
Tiant has a very impressive September and October, 6-1 record in his 7 starts. And now Darrell Chaney comes up to pinch hit. Crowley went back and Darrell Chaney comes up. He pinch hit in the 6th inning of the 4th game with a man on and 2 out, and Tiant struck him out. In fact, Tiant also fanned Crowley. So here is Chaney batting for Gary Nolan. So Nolan pitched 2 innings, allowed 3 runs, 3 hits, and struck out a batter, and he will depart. Chaney lifts a fly ball out to Yastrzemski, who has to move back a bit onto the warning track where he one-hands it.
Getting another indication of the way that wind is blowing. That ball was not hit well. It was not a very good swing by Chaney, and the ball went almost to the base of the wall. Watch Yastrzemski. He even gets confused a little bit by the wind as he starts back slowly, and then he starts struggling along, backpedaling. The wind is blowing very hard, high in the air, in a ball of that nature.
Well, Yastrzemski says he can play left field in his sleep, and that, of course, includes the Fenway left field, where he is so much at home. Here's Pete Rose as the Reds are back to the top of their order. He lined out to Carl, who came in to make a diving catch, might have slipped on that damp turf in the 1st inning. Pitch is low and outside. Tiant has struck out 3, has walked a batter, has not allowed a base hit, and there's Louis Tiant Sr. What a thrill this man must be getting this year. Coming from Cuba to see not only his son pitch on a pennant-winning team, but win 2 in the World Series and maybe 3. Here's the let-up pitch, and Rose lines it to center field. That'll be a base hit, and the first hit of the game for the Reds. So Rose now with his 7th hit of the series.
Dick, I did an interview with Luis Tiant for the Today Show, and what a heartwarming thing to hear that great pitchers say that God gave me 2 things I wanted this year: my family to come to see me and play in a World Series. I think that's a pretty good yardstick on what that man's made of.
You know, the first time Tiant pitched with his dad at present, couldn't get anybody out. Just didn't have it that night. Ken Griffey, the batter, walked his first time up. Rose is on at first with 2 out. Top of the 3rd inning, 3-0 Boston. And a bouncing ball off the glove of Tiant. Doyle recovers, however, makes the play to retire the side. Might have been trouble if the ball had been deflected too much over to the right side. It's still 3-0 Boston. The new Cincinnati pitcher is 5'8" Fred Norman, 33 years old, native of San Antonio, Texas. He was the loser in the 4th game of the series when 3 1/3 innings allowed 4 runs on 7 hits. And, of course, it was on the mound when the Red Sox erupted for those 5 runs in the 4th inning of that 4th game.
Screwball, slider, slow curve. He'll surprise you with the velocity on his fastball. He is one of the men or pitchers who was disgruntled, as you guys mentioned earlier in the telecast, because he was passed over one ball game up here in Fenway.
Tony, we've had more disgruntled pitchers than pitchers in the series, it seems.
I tell you, boy, you've seen some statements. Billingham had one. Bill Lee, of course, has been dominating the papers here. He just thinks that he should be pitching regardless.
I have a great respect for a lot of the writers in the country who are, all the big ones are here, and they have really had their work cut out for 3 off days. That's when the players say things, sometimes just to say them to put the writers on and put the media people on. The writers write it. Sometimes they have to retract it. But they really worked around here the last 3 days with their off-day stories.
My favorite line is the one I saw, that the Fall Classic may turn into a winter wonderland.
Cecil Cooper will lead off in the 3rd inning against Fred Norman. Of course, one of the things we had read in the paper, perhaps Sparky Anderson would start a righty, then bring in a lefty, and force Darrell Johnson and bring in his right-handed batters, but Johnson is not going to switch. Cooper and Doyle are effective against left-handed pitchers. Cooper flied to center his first time up. There's a ball outside. It was a breaking ball.
Darrell Johnson. What a job he's done all season long, managing his pitching staff in Fenway.
That's on the corner. 1-1. I have a lot of respect for Darrell Johnson. I think he has handled himself extremely well, not only this season, but during the World Series. May not be as colorful as Sparky Anderson in giving the answers that the writers may want, but he is logical, he's to the point, and he is honest. Yes. And a pop-up. Shortstop Concepcion is going back. He'll call for it. And Cooper is retired. 1 out in the 3rd inning. Darrell Johnson.
Sometimes they put a rap on a manager because he doesn't come up with the glib, the funny little quotes and all that.
You might have seen on the front of Darrell Johnson's jacket was a microphone tape that will be used for the World Series film. There you see it, the little piece of gray tape.
You ever been in when you edit that film?
No.
You know what happens? Ball players run up and they stand right in front there and holler all kinds of little goodies into there, and then Darrell's busy saying, that wasn't me, that wasn't me.
Here's Denny Doyle, who was out Perez to Nolan in the 1st inning, and a breaking ball outside. If you don't know it by now, the Red Sox acquired Doyle from the California Angels in June, and he just moved right into that second base position. Fastball, he misses outside 2-0. No question Norman is trying to keep the ball away from the left-handed batters. We're in the 3rd inning, 3-0, Boston leading. That nicks the corner, 2-1.
Pete Rose down on 3rd base showing a lot of respect for Doyle's bat control. He's playing up on the grass in front of the bag. Is Doyle an excellent butter?
Three balls and a strike. Not only can Doyle bunt, if you pitch him inside, he can pull the ball, as he has done as Don Zimmer, the 3rd base coach. He's been a very active man at 3rd during those coaching lines during the season, but Doyle can serve base hits out to left, center, and right, short right field. That's where he picked up most of his hits this year. 3 balls and a strike. And there's a base hit down the right field line into the corner, and the ball gets away a bit from Griffey. Doyle will hold it second with a double. Denny Doyle, with his first double of the series, has a triple already, and now he has 7 hits. A 1-out double by Denny Doyle.
Watching Johnny Bench on right before Norman made the pitch, he was trying to get Perez to move back a little bit. I doubt if Perez would have been able to make the play, but Bench was going with the pitch. It would almost force Doyle to hit that way.
So Doyle now has hit safely in all 6 series games. He also has an 8-game hitting streak. That's consistency for you. Here's to Carl Yastrzemski. 2-out single started the big 3-run rally for the Red Sox in inning number 1. In that first inning with 2 out, Yastrzemski singles. Fisk got a base hit, and Lynn homered into the right field bleachers to provide all the runs of this game. 3-0 to score. There's a ball. Red Sox have 4 hits, and that's the first hit off Fred Norman. And he takes the big cut, fouls it back. 1-1. Michael Ford, President Gerald Ford's son, part of this packed house tonight here at Fenway Park. Freddie Norman is in his 15th pro season. Started way back with the Kansas City Athletics organization in '61. And there's a stride. Joe, Tony, you think Yastrzemski may be vulnerable to an off-speed pitch because it looks like he's taking that big stride for that pitch, and maybe he's off balance a bit.
But his bat is back, Dick. When Musial was that way, it might be striding, but the bat was back, and then he drilled one to the opposite field.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Yastrzemski. 1 out. Doyle, the runner, at second. And he pops it up to the right side. Joe Morgan makes the catch, took a look at where Denny Doyle was. 2 down in the 3rd inning. And now we'll see Carlton Fisk.
Now you got 2 outs. There's Jack Billingham warming up. 2 outs, first base open. Left-handed pitcher facing Fisk. I got to think twice with Freddie Lynn coming up next, a left-hander, and I might put Carlton Fisk on in this situation.
I would think they wouldn't give him anything to hit, or maybe Sparky will take the monkey right off his back. I think he is, just put him right on. You like to see that, managers. I used to hate it when they come out and say, don't give him a good ball to hit. He wants to chase it fine. This way, he takes all the pressure, and they put him on, and that's the way it should be.
Well, it's a percentage move all the way. It gives you the force, of course, at several bases, and Fred Lynn will be coming up, and despite the fact he did hit the 3-run homer in the first inning, that was against the right-hander Nola. Now he's facing a left-hander.
Lynn, during the course of the year, Dick, has been somewhat effective, I think, against left-handed pitchers. Of course, he doesn't see as many up here in Fenway Park. A little tricky move. But Freddie, when his stroke is right, likes to go a little bit more the opposite way on left-handed pitchers.
He uses the whole field from foul line to foul line as well as many players do. And a hand for Fred Lynn. Hit his first home run since September 14th in the first inning. And the fans give him a well-deserved ovation.
To bear out what you say about using the whole park, the key is Geronimo, and he is directly in line with the bag in center field. They are really straight away.
2 out, 2 on for the Red Sox in the third. Big cut by Lynn on the high fastball. Strike one. Lynn is the first rookie to hit a home run in the World Series since Reggie Smith, who was with the Red Sox at the time, hit a pair against the Cardinals in '67.
Look at him lining up with the bag, Geronimo in center field. He's got a lot of room in his ballpark.
1 strike to count. And a breaking ball outside.
Carlton Fisk is getting off first base. There's Doyle on second, but Fisk is getting off a long way, and he was really looking in, Joe, at Bench's signs. And Bench, with that quick throwing arm, you might see Tony Perez sneak up behind him.
Well, he can see him from there, I guarantee you.
The 1-1 pitch. 2-1 now to Lynn.
Freddie wanted that pitch. Fred Norman, that is. We got 2 Freds working against each other.
Marky Anderson, as you mentioned, Tony, will use just about anyone, and he already has started that routine. Now, what will that mean for tomorrow? Does that mean people like Billingham and Norman may not be as available as much?
Better hoping that Gullett makes it to the park.
2 balls and a strike. He holds up but takes a call, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Dick, if it goes to the 7th game, that is if Boston wins, they're going to use everybody again tomorrow if they have to. They got all winter long to rest.
He'd be more prone to do it tonight, though. He'll go a whole lot longer with Gullett, who is his ace.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 men out, last of the third inning. Doyle is at second, Fisk at first. The Red Sox lead the Reds 3-0. And a full count now on Fred Lynn and the on-deck hitter, Rico Petrocelli.
There's Tony Perez. Fisk in front of him. He's been peering down at the signs. You see everybody moving in the infield as the pitch came to the plate.
The runners will be going on 3 and 2. There they go. The payoff pitch, ball 4. Well, that'll load him up for Petrocelli.
And now if Sparky goes with the percentages, he may be out there and bring in Jack Billingham. Here he comes.
Well, he's got to think of a couple things, I believe, Tony. Number one, that Petrocelli, especially with men on base, is a first ball hitter. And many times when the pitcher gives up that base on balls after the intentional walk, the danger of, well, I'm going to get ahead of this guy and put a little extra, but it'd be right down the middle in a bad spot. And that's a little tough to do it with Petrocelli. He looks like he's indicated he's going to make a move. Norman leaves, and we're going to have a revolving door policy as Billingham comes in. So there's a break in the action here at Boston. The score, Red Sox 3, Cincinnati nothing.
32-year-old Jack Billingham, who has a fine sinker ball, is making his second series appearance. He started game 2, worked 5 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, 1 of which were earned, and had no decision in a game eventually won by the Reds 3-2.
And as I recall, Jack Billingham was upset too that he was passed over for this starting assignment. Billingham pitched well his second game up here for Cincinnati. He's the kind of pitcher, when he's right, is very effective in this kind of ballpark with that sidearm curve, slider, and low sinker ball.
Well, he's pitched well in World Series play. 3 runs in 9 innings of pitching, a 1-0 record. Now he'll have to face 19 innings, that is. Rico Petrocelli flied out to center field, but hit the ball deep to Geronimo onto the warning track in the first inning. Bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the third inning, 3-0 Boston. And he chops it foul behind the plate. Doyle, the runner, is at third. At second, Carlton Fisk and Fred Lynn, who has a home run and a base on balls on at first.
So this is the kind of situation as a catcher with the bases loaded. You hate to make snap throws, but Tony Perez is sneaking up a little bit closer on Freddie Lynn at first base.
This is outside.
But the only way you would do it, Tony, would be one of those I'll be there kind of plays without pitching out, where if you got the ball, the first baseman would answer you and say, well, if you get it, I'll be there, so throw it. But you got to make sure he's going to be there, because if the base is loaded, you may throw yourself into a triple.
Big cut by Petrocelli, and he misses. A ball and 2 strikes. There's Dwight Evans in the on-deck circle, who hopes he has a chance to get up to bat. A ball, 2 strikes to Petrocelli. 2 out, the bases loaded. And Petrocelli goes after a sharp-breaking ball way outside, and the side is retired. Billingham does the job. And after 3 innings here at Fenway Park in Game 6, Boston.
Joe Morgan.
This is a big story of this World Series.
Second base, Morgan.
4th inning, Joe Morgan will lead off. He fouled out to Carlton Fisk in the 1st inning. The Red Sox 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Reds, no runs, a hit, and no errors. There's ball 1 to Morgan. With 2 out in the 3rd inning, Rose got the first Cincinnati hit, a line drive to center field. And let a pitch in for the strike.
Say, is it too early to say yet? The game's never over till the last stop with the wind blowing out in Fenway with Cincinnati in town.
Starting to audition for that cliche show.
Put that one in.
1-1 pitch. Curveball on the outside corner. One ball, 2 strikes to Joe Morgan, leading off the 4th. And a ground ball, second base, Denny Doyle gobbles it up. 1 out. Well, Tiant started the game with no earned runs in his last 36 innings at Fenway Park. So you talk about pitchers being effective at home or away. Tiant loves pitching in this arena. 1 out, and Johnny Bench. Bench struck out in the 1st inning.
Let's see if he works on him the same way. Remember, Bench chased a bad ball the outside part of the plate.
Fouls it off.
We talked about his deliveries. That was a curveball from the side. Let's keep track on Bench what he does.
But the location, watch where he spots that ball. Every pitch works for him.
Watch Fisk, see where he sets up.
He misses outside. I think Tiant has thrown 1 pitch high only once tonight. I think if he has been inside, he's been well inside, outside the same. But he hasn't really thrown any high pitches in that strike zone. Bench swings and misses.
That's the best fastball he's thrown all night. When he comes over the top, as he did on that last one, that's when his real blazer, when he's got it, comes in.
Now let's see what he does when he's ahead 1-2.
He's out. Low curve, and Johnny Bench goes down for the 2nd time.
4 pitches to Bench, 4 different deliveries. Sidearm curve, he started with sidearm fastball, overhand fastball, then an overhand curve. What do you look for?
4 different deliveries, and where were all those 4 pitches?
All the way.
All away, and 1 of them was up, 3 of them were down. You couldn't hit him with 7 bats when he makes pitches like that.
Tony Perez knows what it's like to strike out against Tiant. He's spanned 4 times. There's that hesitation pitch.
I thought they outlawed that with Satchel Paige.
That should have copyrighted that one.
Tony Perez has 2 hits in the series, both home runs. On the corner, fastball.
Right there.
Mixing his pitches beautifully tonight. Tiant has to count 1-1 with 2 out of the 4th. And I'm sure the 3-run lead that he has isn't hurting his showmanship at all either, Joe.
No way.
2-1. John Havlicek and his beautiful wife Beth looking on. John about ready to start another season with the Boston Celtics. 2-1 pitch. Perez almost went after a breaking pitch. It was outside. 3-1 now to Tony.
I bet that Havlicek would like to have that built-in fake that Tiant's got.
3-1 pitch. Foul back on the screen. Full count now to Tony Perez with 2 out in the 4th. I think it does so much for a pitcher to have a lead, not necessarily a 1-run lead, but something like 3-4 runs. Just really changes the complexion. In game 1, Tiant, of course, had a battle Don Gullett till they got the 6 runs in the 7th inning. Breathing a bit easier tonight. Here's a payoff pitch to Perez. Fastball. Perez fouls it back.
Dick, you're right. You don't have to be a nibbler. You can go right after him, which Tiant is doing. Throw strikes with any of a couple of different pitches.
The difference in the thinking is you don't throw what you have to throw. You throw what you want to throw. You got that lead. When you're 0-0,
I wish I'd have said that. That's pretty good. Write that down in case we
He
play
hasn't written
tomorrow.
down. He's been waiting to use this.
No,
Tony.
I haven't got nothing written down. You guys are rotten.
All right, here's the payoff pitch again. It's Tony Perez. Line drive, and it's past Doyle. Sharp hit, and Perez has a single. There's Dwight Evans. Likes to play a little decoy out in right field. Was hoping maybe Perez would move, and he didn't. So that's the second hit of the game for Cincinnati. A 2-out single by Perez. Rose got the first hit, a 2-out single in the 3rd inning. Brings up George Foster. Foster fouled out to Cecil Cooper at his first time up.
That Foster does everything he can to distract that pitcher from his own score. Now, he knew his shoe was untied, but he waited till he got in the batter's box. Little gamesmanship, nothing wrong with it.
2-out Perez at first. He has a stolen base in the series. Fouled back.
We had a bronze that for him, that stolen base. In the World Series.
That shocked everybody. Cooper is holding Perez on.
I think in Cincinnati, when Ed Bailey, the catcher, stole a base, they stopped the game and gave him second base. It was the only one of his career.
Alvin Dark took third base away and threw it into the stands this year when he was upset with the umpire call.
That's right.
Picked it up and walked away with it. Strike 1 pitch. Breaking ball, check swing, ground ball. Burleson goes to Doyle, and the ball gets away. Perez will go to third. There'll be no throw over there. Burleson had the force play, but the throw is wide of the bag, and he'll charge an error to the shortstop.
Rick goes very well to his right, plants that right foot, has plenty of time. He gets a lot on it, but he just pulled the ball over to the right of Doyle. I don't know how bad that throw was. Doyle looked like he was trying to cheat, come across the bag. May have made the throw look worse than it was.
That ball may have sailed, too, Tony.
Sometimes it happens. You get a ball, it's a little wet spot.
Oh, he got tied up, too.
He started to go across the bag toward third base. May have made the throw look a little worse than it was.
Well, now we'll see if the Reds can capitalize on an error here. Instead of the side being out, the Reds have runners at first and third with 2 men out. It's the 4th Red Sox error of the series. Cincinnati has 2, and Concepcion flied out to Lynn in center field. Perez is at third, Foster at first with 2 down. We're in the 4th inning, 3-0 Boston. Just misses outside. Ball 1. Tony Perez, who singled and went to third on the error. Foster, who was safe. 2 men out. Took something off that pitch. Falls behind, however, 2-0. Well, the Reds have not had a runner as far as second until now. Perez is at third. Clay Carroll is in the Cincinnati bullpen. We can expect to see just about everyone but Don Gullett out there tonight. And who knows? Crowd beginning their Louis chant now with the count 2-0 on Concepcion. Fouls back his fastball, 2-1. Red Sox got 3 runs in the first inning. The 2 out, Yastrzemski and Fisk got back-to-back singles, and Fred Lynn homered into the right field bleachers. Lynn's first home run of the series, and his first homer, in fact, since September 14th. And that's been all the scoring so far. 2 on. On the inside corner, says Zach Davidson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good fastball by Louis.
On the black. There's Perez at third.
Foster and Cooper holding him on. 2-2 now with 2 men out. Well, you look at this guy's build and his power really deceiving, right? You don't think this guy can really hit the long ball, but he does. He has a homer in this series. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Reds shortstop. Off the fist, pop-up. Cooper almost lost his footing, but in foul territory makes the catch, and the side is retired. There was a hit. The Reds lead 2. We go to the last of the 4th. It's 3-0 Boston. Third of the Red Sox order in the 4th inning against Jack Billingham, the 3rd Cincinnati pitcher. Gary Nolan started, worked 2 innings, gave up all 3 runs on 4 hits. Norman pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, and Billingham, 1/3 of an inning, came in to strike out with the bases loaded in the 3rd. Here's Dwight Evans. He took a call 3rd strike, his first trip. Fastball misses. So Billingham upset at not being the starter in this game, seeing action here. Evans fouls it off at the plate, 1-1.
Evans' bat from the right side has been very important in the outcome of this series, with the absence, of course, of Jim Rice. They need his right-handed bat going so they can't pitch around some of the other left-handed hitters, and also Carlton Fisk.
2 balls and a strike. Dwight Evans, 23 years old. Cuts and misses 2-2. In fact, when you have the outfield of Rice, Lynn, and Evans, Evans at 23 is the senior member of this outfield.
What happened to Evans the second half that he started going so well? What did he change?
I think he got a chance to get in the lineup. I think he has to be in there. He might have lost some confidence early in the season. This is fouled back, 2-2. And I think once Dwight got the groove, he was all right. You know, he's tough on himself, as you know.
It's that old baseball or even football. I guess any sport. You can't play unless you hit. You can't hit unless you play.
It's 2 for you.
The 2-2 pitch to Evans. That's out to right field. Griffey really has to run for this one. Won't get it, and it's into the stands for a ground rule double. Well, Evans just went with the pitch to the opposite field, and that'll be the second double of the game for the Red Sox, and their, let's see, 6th hit.
Ken Griffey with that great speed, but there's a lot of room out here in Fenway Park in the right field sector. It is a tough position to play, more so maybe in the daytime when you have a sun problem also.
Evans now has 7 hits in this World Series. Denny Doyle has 7, and this man, Rick Burleson, has the same number. He bounced out Perez unassisted.
We're looking for a bunt, but Tian is the next hitter. There might be some room in the infield if he decides to swing away.
Outside for a ball.
Look at how many openings there are when that shortstop and second baseman start cheating. Rose comes in, Tony Perez comes in.
2-0. Well, Burleson knows what he has to do, and the Red Sox have played it the same way all season. With a man on second, nobody out, Burleson will either sacrifice or hit to the right side of the infield, move the man over. This has been the standard operating procedure for the Red Sox all year. He'll try to hit it to the right side. Instead, the count goes 3-0, and Don Zimmer will flash the signs. And as you mentioned, Joe, Darrell Johnson has given the green light a lot of times on 3-0.
He did it one time in this series, Joe, and Burleson got a big base hit.
You can't be sure that he's taken.
5 hits for the Red Sox, 2 for the Reds. 3 balls, no strikes. Burleson taking ball 4.
You know what Louis is going to be up there doing with first and second and nobody out, and Zimmer wants a conference with him.
Cincinnati does not have the trick play. At least I haven't seen it, although Rose, while Zimmer talks to Tiant, is going out to set up a defense with Billingham, and Bench joins in. Billingham has been talking to Concepcion. Perez, I'm sure, will be the man who fields the ball because Rose will be charging hard. You wonder if Concepcion will be breaking on the trick play. And all kinds of things going. This is a big play right here, and Zimmer wants to make sure.
Rose can't afford to charge too hard off third, because if he does, a pretty good base runner at second base, and Dwight Evans, and if he sees him breaks too soon, he'll go on into third base.
So Tiant up in an obvious bunting situation with runners at first and second, nobody out. Last to the fourth, 3-0 Boston. And he bunts it up in the air, and Perez has one play, first base. If Perez had not charged, he would have caught it. Now, we might have even had a double play. Who knows?
Here's what you call a little bit of luck on a poor bunt. And Tiant knew it. He stood there in disgust, but Tony Perez charging so hard, the ball is popped over his head, and Tiant does his job, although not in the most graceful fashion, but he did it.
I think he worked on that.
He didn't have much chance all year because he hadn't hit
Louis
very
worked
much.
on that for the 4 swings he probably took before the World Series. Second and third, one out, and the Reds draw their infield in now as Cecil Cooper. Cooper has hit the ball in the air twice tonight, to center and a shortstop. Infield is in. The Reds trailing 3-0. Have to prevent further scoring. Here's the ball outside. The question was, would Darrell Johnson perhaps go with Carbo in left field, put Yastrzemski at first? He decided to go with Cecil Cooper. He's confident he'll break out of his series slump. 2-0. Well, Billingham's having trouble finding the plate. Evans at third, Burleson at second. Clay Carroll in the bullpen. And Cooper misses 2-1. Evans at third, Burleson at second. The infield is in as Joe Morgan shouts something to Billingham. We're in the last of the fourth. One man out. And a slow hit bounding ball. Perez will go to first. The runners hold. 2 out. Evans couldn't go. Burleson is on at second. 2 men out. And it'll be up to Denny Doyle to see if the Red Sox can add to their 3-run lead.
Dick, have you seen Doyle any time during the course of the year in this situation if they play too far back with his bat control, lay down a bunt, try and score that runner for third?
He has not done it this year in that situation.
I'll tell you what he's done in the series, though, Tony, with men on. He's chased that first pitch. They get it close, he's going to go to whacking.
Rose is up. He's looking for a possibility of a bunt.
Low, ball one. So now with 2 out, the infield, of course, is moved back. Rose, however, of course, stays in on the grass at third. Tony, as you mentioned. The outfield is shallow and shaded around to the left on Doyle, who takes a strike, 1-1. Beautiful night for baseball, 62 degrees. Everyone thought it would be sub-freezing.
It's a great rule. You can wet your fingers outside the pitching surface like it's going to dry by the time you get back to the rubber.
And Joe Morgan charges this one, will make the play, and the Red Sox do not score. Billingham pitches out of it. There was a hit, 2 men left. That's our score. Well, the number 8, number 9 hitters are starting it off for the Reds in the 5th inning, and so we will definitely see a pinch hitter for Jack Billingham. But first, Cesar Geronimo will lead it off against Louis Tiant. Geronimo was a strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. Tiant has given up 2 hits, has walked 1 and struck out 4. He got out of the toughest jam he's been in last inning with runners at first and third, 2 out, not of his own doing, and induced Concepcion to foul out. And there's a drive to right field, and Dwight Evans is there to make the catch. Evans picks up the ball in a hurry in right field.
He gets there in a hurry. He does not drift to a ball where the wind might affect her. If the ball sails, you could get hurt. Armbruster now is going to be the pinch hitter. Crowley called back. Second time that's happened.
He's the designated on-deck batter.
I was going to say. Twice he's been out there, and twice he's been called back by Sparky Anderson. So Ed Armbruster.
Sparky is saving the men he considers his top hitters off the bench, and also the percentages for men on base situations. He still has Dreesen on the bench.
So Armbruster, who has been up one time, and of course played a major role in that controversial play in game number 3. He has sacrificed once, and of course that was the big play in which interference was claimed by Darrell Johnson and of course rejected by the umpires. So Armbruster batting for Jack Billingham and takes ball 1. 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 3-0. Boston leading Cincinnati. Game 6 of the World Series. If the Red Sox win, we'll have Game 7 tomorrow night right here. 2-0. Fastball is high. Tiant falling behind Armbruster, the second pinch hitter to face him tonight. Armbruster sacrificed in the 9th inning of game number 4. On the corner, fastball, 3-1. He's really hitting those spots tonight, Joe.
Amazing. His grandma's flashing a bunch of signs. They got to get base runners. Armbruster's looking. I'd be surprised if he's turning them loose.
He loses them, and Armbruster draws a walk. That's the second base on balls given up by Tiant. He had walked Griffey with 1 out in the 1st inning. So Armbruster the runner with 1 out. And once again, the top of the order for the Reds, Pete Rose. Lined out to Yastrzemski left and single up the middle. The first Reds hit in the 3rd.
Tiant's amazing streak continues up here in Fenway Park, Boston. He's at 40 consecutive innings without an earned run. What an amazing thing anywhere, but especially here with that short fencing left. The wind blowing out as often as it does.
Armbruster does not go, and Rose bunts it foul into the crowd. Well, Joe, he talked about the wind blowing out, and after the first 2 games of the series, no one hit the ball off the wall. We've had 1 home run. Where was it? Right field bleachers.
That's right. Never fails, man. They'll do it every time.
1 strike to Rose. 1 out, Armbruster, the pinch hitter who had walked on at first. Cooper holding him on. Art France, the umpire. Dick Stello and George Maloney are the foul line umpires in this game. Stello of the National League, Maloney of the American. And a shot from the right fielder looking into the plate. This was outside, and Tiant wants a new ball. 1-1. Native of Havana, Cuba, now he lives in Milton, Massachusetts. Luis Tiant. Pitched for the Indians, the Twins, before joining the Red Sox in '71. One pitch to Pete Rose. Fisk held it there. Didn't get the call. It's 2-1.
That last pitch was a good look from our center field camera right into Louis Tiant's glove. We can take you with some of these powerful lenses, places that you can't get if you're in the ballpark.
2 balls and a strike to Rose. Reds trying to get something going here in the 5th inning, trailing 3-0. They can win the World Series with a victory tonight. On the outside corner, fine pitch by Tiant, and Clay Carroll, who will come in and be the 4th Reds pitcher in the bottom of the 5th.
You've heard the expression many times, he just will not give in, and Tiant, with Armbruster at first base, Tiant will just not give in. He just goes for that outside corner. He'll not throw it down the middle. He'll make you hit the pitch he wants you to hit.
1 out, 1 on, 2-2 to Pete Rose. Fastball fouled off to the left side. And the ball bounds onto the field. So Ed Armbrister goes back to first. He had walked with 1 out. Rose with 1 hit and 2 times up tonight. He has 7 hits in this series. 7 for 20. On deck is Ken Griffey for the Reds. 2-2 pitch. And the count runs full to Rose.
That's a good snap throw, that quick throw. Both Bench and Fisk can do so well. Just flip the ball and it's downer before you know it.
Tiant had a base runner in the first. Griffey with a walk. Rose with a 2-out single in the third. Perez with a single in the fourth with 2 out, and an error had runners at first and third. Now it's 3-2 to Rose with Armbrister on. The 3-2 pitch, Armbrister goes, and Rose fouls it back right in here. I've got a catcher and a shortstop, and I had to make the play, and it was off my hand.
I ducked it, man. So did Ned Martin.
Get the white flag out.
Ned assumed that married man stance. He ducked right under the chairs.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Pete Rose. Armbrister was running on the pitch. 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Reds have 2 hits. The Red Sox 5. 3-0 to score. Again, Armbrister on the move, and Rose lines a base hit to center field. Armbrister will try to go to third, and Lynn will throw to second.
Freddie got the ball caught in the webbing of his glove. Armbrister started to slow down around second base, and then he decided to challenge Freddie Lynn's arm. I think he might have surprised Fred. You don't do that too often on him.
I would think so, but the ball had to get caught in his glove.
He got to the ball quickly, and then, well, I do believe he was surprised by Armbrister.
He didn't get the good grip, and it could have been a surprise because Armbrister did stop at second base.
So once again, the Reds, last inning they had runners at first and third with 2 out. Now they have runners at first and third with 1 out. And the heart of the Reds order coming up, Ken Griffey, who walked and bounced to second. He'll be followed by Joe Morgan. 3 hits now for Cincinnati. There have been 3 one-run games in this series, an extra inning encounter, and the Red Sox have out-hit Cincinnati. But in games, it's 3-2 Reds. That'll be out of play to the left side.
How would you look at that lead that Pete Rose had off first base? He was a couple of strides off and leaning heavily back toward first. Respect for Tiant's move.
The big run is at the plate. He's not about to get picked off. You know, without a whole lot of fanfare, Mr. Rose, I think, is just taking the lead as far as the most base hits.
Number 8, that's right. 8 hits. Red Sox have 3 with 7. And Rose did not get off to a real good start, if I remember. It was 0 for 5, 0 for 4 in the first game. 1 strike pitch. Misses outside, 1-1. We briefly pause for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. This is Dick Stockton with Joe Garagiola and Tony Kubek at Fenway Park. Game 6 of the World Series. Reds trail 3-0, but they're threatening with 1 out in the 5th. The 1-1 pitch to Griffey. He held up, and wisely so. 2-1 now. Cooper holding on Rose at first. Armbrister at third.
These are the kinds of situations where Tiant has come up with a big pitch throughout this series. Men on base, the hitter ahead of him.
Two-one pitch. And a fastball.
A little bit extra when he needs it.
That might have been his best fastball.
A little bit extra.
2-2 to Griffey. And he's an important man, Tony and Joe, because with Morgan and Bench the next hitters, if you lose him, that 3-run lead can disappear in a hurry.
In a big hurry. Boy, that was a good pitch, Tony.
He needs another one right now.
1 out, 2 on, 2-2 the count to Ken Griffey. And a fly ball deep to center field. Lynn going way back, and he can't make the play. It's off the wall. Evans will recover, and Lynn is not up. He has been shaken up. 1 run comes in. Here comes Rose with the second run, and Freddie Lynn is hurt in the corner in the dead center field. He must have hit his head against that wall, and he is really shaken up. And Darrell Johnson, trainer Charlie Moss, going out to center field. Griffey on at third with a triple, 2 runs in, and I've never heard Fenway Park as silent as it is right now.
He hit it hard. He was going full tilt when he jumped, turned his back to that wall. We don't know if he hit his head, but he sure jarred his back very hard.
Tony, look at the crowd is just
standing up.
Stunned. They're all standing. The big hush over the ballpark. You just don't know. There's a shot of the crowd.
Have you ever seen a ballpark like this during a game?
The concern is here because he gave it a real challenge as he got up, but as you pointed out, he hit that wall so hard, and he didn't move.
Evans, Yastrzemski, Darrell Johnson, and the trainer Charlie Moss, and Stan Williams, the pitching coach out there. He was shaken up. That's about as deep as he can go in that area of left center field.
Looked like an off-speed or a breaking pitch that Griffey hit. He jumped on it, and Lynn did get a good jump on it, just ran out of ballpark, but it didn't stop him. He went into that wall very hard.
Let's look at it again. Freddie Lynn on the ball off the bat of Griffey, charging full speed in the deepest part of the park to left center field. Right here, he tries to kick off with that right foot, but he slipped on the concrete, and when his right foot slipped, it spun him around, and he smacked into it with his back. I did not see his head hit, Joe, but his back sure was hit hard.
He took one quick look at that wall and knew he had some room and gave it that extra effort. That wall didn't stop him at all. He was on a warning track, I believe, when he took the look.
No question it was the back as we saw the replay, and this is a tough kid, you know. He played football for John McKay at Southern California, was a defensive back.
You talked on previous telecast over the radio, no, Dick, about his tremendous body control, his diving catches, his going into the wall and not really being hurt. Right there, you saw that right foot slip off the wall, and that was the key, I think, that spun him around, and he really took a bad jar.
Tony, he has made several diving catches this year going to right and left center field. He has gone against the wall before. This is the first time we have seen Fred Lynn get hurt on any kind of a play in the outfield.
There it is. He just spun himself around. Amazing effort.
He's going to stay in.
Well, he's accounted for the 3 Red Sox runs, but now the Reds have forged back, trailing 3-2. 1 out, and the tying run is at third as Griffey on at third with the 4th extra base hit of the series. He had 3 doubles previously. And Joe Morgan, the hitter. Tying run at third. 1 out. And we talked about Griffey being a key man for Tiant, and now he really has to face the iron of the Cincinnati lineup. And the scoreless string of Tiants, of course, goes by the boards here in the 5th. But more important, I'm sure, to the Red Sox and Tiant is the game. Ball 1 to Morgan.
An amazing streak, 40 in the 3rd innings. There's Griffey with a big hit.
Infield in for the Red Sox. Pitches outside, ball 2. And, of course, knowing the way Sparky Anderson is managing the series, a closer score, of course, makes it more prominent for Rollie Eastwick to perhaps play a big role later in this game. If the club is out by a lot of runs, he's not as effective. On a let-up pitch, pops it up to the left side. Petrocelli makes the catch for the 2nd out. He was a big man.
Joe Morgan has talked almost this entire series about being over-anxious at the plate. He says, I've been swinging at pitches I do not ordinarily swing at, trying to play beyond my abilities. He got a change-up. He looked like he was fooled. He went after it. Johnny
Bench struck out swinging in the 1st inning and took a called 3rd strike in the 4th. 2 out, Griffey at 3rd, 3-2 the score. We're in the top of the 5th inning, Boston leading Cincinnati. And there's a line drive left field. Yastrzemski going back will play it off the wall. Griffey scores the tying run, and Bench is held to a single as Yastrzemski plays the left field wall perfectly. And that's the first ball to hit the left field wall, and the score is tied.
Watch Yaz do what he has done better than anybody else in the history of this ballpark, play the wall.
24.
Bench did not hit the ball well. He looked like he was spooled. He reached for the ball, might have hit it on the end of the bat, but the wall is finally hit.
Strength of Bench. But Yastrzemski plays it like a highlight player. Long single.
It's a 3-3 ball game. The Red Sox got 3 in the first. The Reds tied with 3 in the fifth. Here's Tony Perez, struck out and single. Fouls it off to the right side. It was a curveball. Perez got his base hit into the right field in the 4th inning.
My apologies to Ted Williams on that last one. He played that wall pretty well, too, for a lot of years.
Bench, the runner at first with 2 down. Fastball high and away. An activity for the first time for the Red Sox. Jim Burton, the left-hander. Jim Willoughby, the right-hander. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tony Perez. The Reds have tied it here in the 5th. Each side has 5 hits. The Red Sox have the only error in this game. Challenge him with a fastball as he fouls it back on the screen. 1-2. Bench now with 4 runs batted in the series. Griffey, who tripled in a pair, now has 4. The Cincinnati club comes right at you. One ball, 2 strikes. 2-2.
Cincy's lineup doesn't give you any rest. They come at you with 8 hitters and a couple more off the bench. Almost all of them capable of hitting the ball out of the park.
Well, they led the major league in runs scored. Red Sox were tops in the American League. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fisk faked the throw to first. Count is full of Tony Perez. On deck is George Foster. 3-2, 2 out. Bench at first. 3-3 the score. And the Red Sox will see a new Cincinnati pitcher in the last of this 5th inning. Payoff pitch. There goes Bench. Perez strikes out to retire the side. But the Reds have fought back with 3 runs, 3 hits. They leave 1. It's a new ball game. Well, the Red Sox had a 3-0 lead. The Reds have tied it up, and this place is quieted down in a hurry. Joe, Fred Lynn was hurt for a while, and that really silenced him. Should be a good ball game from here on in. I've enjoyed working with you and with Tony and with Kurt. And why don't you take it the rest of the way?
Okay, Dick, we've enjoyed being with you, but we got a long way to go here. 3-3 as we're in the bottom of the 5th, and he'll face Yastrzemski, Fisk, and Lynn. Yastrzemski singled and scored in the 1st. He popped the 2nd in the 3rd. It's a strike. Six for 20 in the World Series. And what the playoffs or the League Championship Series and the World Series, what defensive plays this fella's made. 1-1 the count.
Owner of the Red Sox, Mr. Tom Yawkey, said the other day, in the history of this ball club, Yastrzemski is the best he has ever seen playing for the Red Sox. And that takes in a lot of Terry, and you include Ted Williams.
2 balls and 1 strike on Yastrzemski. There's Mr. Yawkey in the middle. Haywood Sullivan to his left. And the other gentleman didn't know him. There's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We talk about Louis Tion having won 2 series games. Well, Raleigh Eastwick has won 2 series games, and he has a shot at a 3rd if the game goes along the way it's going and he makes an appearance.
He's been the man out of the bullpen, all right. Line drive, base hit, left field. Yastrzemski gets it started for the Red Sox. Crowd comes alive. We're tied up at 3 apiece, and Carlton Fisk is the batter. Fisk singled and scored in the first inning. Yastrzemski, after 2 were out, singled in that first inning. Fisk singled. Yastrzemski stopped at second, and Fred Lynn hit a 3-run homer. Fisk walked in the third inning. 5 for 19 in this series. Perez holds Yastrzemski close. Strike 1. That's Fred Lynn, the on-deck batter. Fisk can hit to the right side. He can handle a bat. Takes it outside, 1-1.
And what a time to do it, because there is a hole there that you could drive a tank through between Morgan and Tony Perez. Joe really shading Fisk toward the bag. Look at the opening.
He gets a slow curveball. He's going to punch one out that way. Rose stumbles, loses his double play, but gets his man at second base. He got one. Pete, he did everything but bite that one, didn't he?
You're going to see right now the Rose style of playing third base.
Number 19.
Here's Yastrzemski on first base. He gets a pretty good break off the bag. Pete just battles the ball going to his left. That is from our camera in left center field. Yaz coming in. Joe very wisely knowing only a chance to get the force out.
Well, that was a real good look at Yastrzemski and how he was straining and going all out to get to that bag. You just look at the expression on his face, you know.
Determination. 1 out, and here's Lynn. Off the end of the bat, Foster in left field, waiting. Novelly, he caught that with 2 hands. Usually 1 hand.
Interesting to know what you thought of Freddie Lynn's swing there, Joe, because I thought he had a weak swing.
I thought he hit off the end of the bat.
I wonder if he couldn't go after the ball. Now, we don't know if the back is hurt or not, but he had a weak swing. In my mind, anyway, it didn't really look like he really went after it. And he hits the ball the opposite way pretty well. Again, I may be just imagining things.
Fooled. Check swing. Nice bouncing ball to Concepcion. A force out. That ends the inning. At the end of 5, we're all tied up. Cincinnati 3 and Boston 3.
4-3.
Joe Garagiola along with Dick Stockton and Tony Kubek here at Fenway Park. We're in the top of the 6th, all tied up at 3 apiece, and Foster, who's 5 for 21, will lead it off. He fouled out to the first baseman and was safe on an error, and Tiant's going to make this play.
This is a ball that gives Louis a little bit of trouble. We've seen 2 balls roll directly over the pitcher's rubber because he falls off so toward the first base side, but that was not hit hard enough. He has a chance to recover.
The man just makes things happen. A check swing, it was an exciting play. He bunts the ball in the air, and he gets the job done. He just makes things happen. Concepcion, high, ball 1.
Does it with style, Joe. Just picking up a ball to the right of the mound, straightening up and throwing, bunting. He does it with a certain style. It's all his own.
That he does, Dick. Concepcion was going for the long one, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. All tied up, 3 apiece. Concepcion flied to center field and fouled out. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Got some action in both bullpens now. We're all tied up. We're in the 6th inning. Game number 6. Beautiful evening here. Right field. Evans goes back. He's there. The more you see Evans, the more you like him. Fred Lynn seems to be hurting out there. He's been flexing his legs, stretching his back, limping a little bit. He really hit that ball hard. Here is Cesar Geronimo, struck out in the 3rd inning, flied to right field in the 5th. Ball one. One of 11 National League players with a 5-hit game. Good fastball. You hear that big glove of Carlton Fisk just pop. Fair ball. Now it's going to come off that short wall, and Geronimo, if he heads for second, oops, he puts on the brakes, and it's just what you were talking about, Tony, as Burleson got out there. That ball was lined down the line. Geronimo started to dig, but Scherger was screaming at first base as Burleson heads back to his position.
Here's a little bit of that home park advantage. Burleson knows that little corner. I'm sure the scouting reports told Cincinnati about it, but he holds Geronimo to a single, and I don't think we're going to see a Cincinnati pitcher hit in this situation either.
Did you see Burleson take a quick look at the runner, Geronimo, as we showed the replay?
Before he picked the ball up.
Yeah.
He wanted to know if he was going to go. And
Here he comes again.
I think he's going to make it this time.
He's swinging. This is as close as he's come up to the plate. He's been in the on-deck circle twice. I imagine his family's kind of rooting to see him get up there. He's going to bat. Crowley will be the batter for Clay Carroll.
Crowley.
Crowley, 268 here. Burleson really knew where to go on that ball hit by Geronimo. 2 men out. Geronimo lead. Low ball one, and Fisk holds it there, and Tiant is surveying it. We're all tied at 3 apiece.
Talk about Tiant doing things with style, even smokes cigars with style. He smokes them in the shower after games.
That's real class. Geronimo is back easily. That was not Tiant's good move. Ball on the outside corner. He dropped it right on that corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luis Tiant tied up at 3 apiece. Pretty good move right there, folks.
That's the move that has been questioned by some umpires, especially from the National League. The move where he pivots on the front heel, throws, and then steps.
Fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The effective thing about a move like that, even when you don't get your man, you cut him down about maybe a step and a half, and when you got arms like Lynn and Evans in center and right field, now you got a shot for him at third base. So it may not show up with immediate results, but it'll pay off in the course of a long season. Here's the 1-2 pitch by Tiant to Crowley, a pinch hitter for Clay Carroll. Foul out of play.
Joe, I've got to wonder again as I look out to Freddie Lynn between pitches how effective he's going to be chasing after anything in the alleys. He is trying to keep loose. That back is stiffening up, I'm sure. He is hurting, and you can almost see the pain on his face.
Tony, would you think he would communicate this to his outfielders? He says, anything on a gap, just watch out for me. I may not be able to cover as much as I normally do.
Boy, he's out there all by himself. They've got a long way to go to help him.
That's right. Straight away, too. A lot of room in right and left center field. Off the handle, a 1-hopper to Burleson. He's going to go. Whoa! Nobody there.
Burleson with a little mental lapse with a left-handed hitter up. Doyle was playing over in the hole toward first base. Rick came up wanting to go to second, but Doyle couldn't get there in time. And, of course, Geronimo, a good base runner with good speed, got a good jump off first base, and there's trouble for Boston.
And that's a base hit for Crowley. And you talk about a wholesale base hit, man. That's one of those 89-cent jobs. Because that was a one-hopper off the handle. Burleson had an easy play, and all of a sudden he realized, too late, that Doyle wasn't about to get there. He was protecting the hole between first and second. And now you got Pete Rose up there, who's been really hitting the ball hard. He is 2 for 3.
These are the kind of mistakes, Joe, that you cannot make against a team like the Cincinnati Reds. It's like the Red Sox base running errors in some of the previous games that took them out of several runs that might have helped the cause earlier.
That was a simple mistake, a boner. Oh, ball one. Now the infielder Burleson's got to hope that Tian will erase it for him. I tell you, I just didn't expect that kind of a play because these two ball clubs have been playing so well. They're just so sound with basics that you don't look for that kind of a mistake. All tied, 3 apiece. Out of play.
And Joe, it's the kind of mistake you don't expect a guy like Burleson to make. He knows his limitations, his abilities. He knows he has to do the little things. I'm sure he's, well, obviously very unhappy with himself.
Boy, the real test is coming back. Like, you know that's on his mind right now.
Especially at that position, because you're in it almost every play around shortstop or second base, and the next pitch can be hit you very quickly.
And he'll be up second next inning. So we'll see if it carries with him to the plate.
He's got to erase it. 1-1 pitch to Pete Rose. Up the middle. One-hand grab. Steps on the bag. Makes the play. So Burleson comes back. Ends the inning. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We're all tied up. 3 apiece. Pedro Barbon, the new pitcher. And hey, this Friday night, 2 hours from 8 to 10 p.m., the Bob Hope Quarter Century of Comedy. And you talk about having some guests. Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Lucille Ball. I tell you, as you read it, Tony, it sounds just like a Hall of Fame.
Who is this et cetera, down after Lucille Ball and Bing Crosby? Pedro Barbon, the 5th pitcher for Cincinnati. He's a power pitcher. He comes in just barreling the ball across, trying to throw strikes.
Number 24.
We'll find out who the et ceteras are, but 8 to 10 this Friday, I'll tell you, he's going to have some heavyweights. Sinatra, Lucille Ball, Bing Crosby, just to name a few. That's Friday night. Barbon against Evans. Evans doubled in the 4th inning. All tied. There's his strike. Boy, Griffey has moved way over in the right field. Evans keeps you honest. He hit one the last time, one bounce into the right field seats for a ground rule double. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. You know, it's a great study of Evans, Dick. Does he talk to himself at the plate? Bill Lee says he does.
Yes, he does. Come on, let's go. I can get this guy. You know, that's the kind of concentration he has. Everyone's different.
You think that it bothers concentration, trying to listen to himself.
You know, the only guy I can really remember talking to himself was Hank Sauer. He'd get on himself, Tony, when he would take a pitch, but to talk to yourself, I would think that it would bother your concentration, but apparently not. Hot shot. Nice play by Morgan. Evans is out, but he hit the ball right on the nose. Here is Burleson. 1 man out. Burleson was out. Perez unassisted in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th. We're all tied at 3 apiece.
You know, Joe, to see Barbon in there, he's the 5th pitcher. Sparky has used 3 in game 1, 4 pitchers in game 2, 5 in the 3rd game, 4 in the 4th, 2, then 5. He has used his staff.
Well, they call him Captain Hook, and there's pretty good reason. Sparky Anderson, what he's done is we look at Tiant in the on-deck circle. Sparky has made the complete game obsolete.
And they said the off days would help Boston because of Tiant being able to come back. It's also helped Sparky's bullpen. Give them a little bit of rest. They've been worked hard in this series.
1 ball and 1 strike. Look how far away he is from the plate. 2 balls and a strike. If you never saw him before, you'd try to pitch Burleson away, but I imagine he keeps you honest by dumping him in the right field. 3 balls and a strike. Zimmer at third base, flashing his signs.
He may let him take a pop at that wall. Sure he will with Tiant up. He gets his pitch. Burley can hit it.
Turn you loose with that pitcher following. He was ready. Took it outside. Burleson draws a base on balls. That's the first walk given up by Bourbon. It's the 4th one. There goes Sparky.
Getting a lot of TV exposure tonight as he has this entire series.
Yeah.
Said he's not superstitious, but you can see him very gingerly.
Let's see what he's going to do.
Stayed away from touching that third base foul line. He hopped over it.
He's got a reason for everything, and he's got a reason for that, as we've said. Superstitious, he said, but if it's going to help me...
McEnany.
He's got them all up there.
Who do you think will be the next guy up?
You name them, everybody but Gullett. Sparky might have gone out there to alert Bench and Bourbon that Johnson might put the switch on, let Louis go after it.
Rose doesn't believe it. He's in close.
Don't groove the pitch where he can handle it.
There's a strike.
Remember also earlier in this series, as we look at Burleson at first, they pulled a play where Perez charged, Morgan tried to sneak behind, and they almost caught a runner off.
Bench saying, don't worry about him. Come to me. Low. I tell you, he's going to have to make Perez feel that ball because Rose is right in on top of him. They'll get Burleson at second base easily if he bunts it to third. He's charging hard. One ball and 2 strikes now, and Tiant takes another look at Zimmer. Will they switch off? Will they keep it on?
Here's Pete charging. This is the reason, as Joe mentioned, why Tiant is going the other way toward Tony Perez.
Here comes Rose. Bunted off the plate. Foul ball, strike 3. So Bourbon is credited with a strikeout. There are two away now, and it brings up Cecil Cooper.
Well, here's one guy, Cecil Cooper, who has had his problems at the plate in this series, has 1 hit in 16 times up. When he was hot and he led the American League designated hitters in batting this year, he would hit ropes against righties, against lefties, down the left field line, down the right field line, hit home runs that would rise. You think they would be 3 feet above the second baseman. They go in the crowd. I don't think the fans around the country have seen Cecil Cooper as the hitters as the Red Sox have.
He's up there now. And it takes low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. I remember we came in here to do a game of the week. He was on a rampage.
He got some big hits down the stretch when Baltimore was chasing and getting closer.
2 balls and no strikes. That's out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bourbon has kind of a unique come-set delivery, Tony. I mean, he kind of sneaks up on you when he gets rid of that ball. Bouncing ball to Morgan, who's got it. Easy flip to Perez. And that's it. So we complete 6 innings here, all tied up 3 apiece. Good habit to get into. 12:30 Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. You tune in. Jack Buck will be there, and then it'll be football. Here's Griffey. Base hit. Right field. Griffey continues to hit a swing a hot bat. Say, he's been something.
Now the situation changes a little bit. With the game tied, that when it was 3-0, because they'll start turning these base stealers loose now. Here's the ball going out to Dwight Evans in right. See, maybe he hurries it a little bit, and that's a tribute to Griffey's speed, who didn't stop. But he rounded the first base bag.
He showed plenty of respect for Evans' arm. Here is Morgan. Morgan fouled out in the first inning, bounced out in the 4th, and popped to the third baseman in the 5th. Whoa, quick throw, good move, almost had him close.
Tiant will show you a variety of moves over to first base.
Griffey has to take a little bit of time here. He about got himself picked off.
Griffey steals his bases more on sheer speed than either Concepcion or Morgan.
High.
Of the 8 hits that the Reds have, 6 have come in the last 3 innings. 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and of course the leadoff man on here with a base hit. Can you detect Louis losing anything?
Not me.
He's just going with fastballs. He hasn't thrown a whole lot of off-speed stuff like he did the first 2 games against Cincinnati.
1-0 pitch. Foul straight back.
I don't think so either. I think they've hit some good pitches.
Well, that base hit by Griffey, it was a 19 hopper. It was a seeing eye. There's Drago loosening up for the Boston Red Sox. It just was in the right spot, but it was a good pitch. All tied, 3 apiece. We're in the top of the 7th. High. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Tiant seems to be making Morgan wait more at the plate than most of the other hitters. When he comes to his set position, he's trying to hold Griffey at first. He's trying to get Morgan to tense up.
Nobody out. Griffey is back. Tiant's got 2 or 3 different moves at first base. There's the strike. Morgan may have been looking for something. Kind of backing out of the batter's box now, just trying to figure it out. Taking inventory. 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out.
Morgan wants the signs all over again. That's what the sign was to Alex Graham. Is start the series again. I missed something. You're going to start him. You're going to let me go after it. You said Joe doesn't like runners running until he's got 2 strikes, but he may have put the sign on that he wants Griffey on the move to open a hole up.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Griffey is rounding second, and he's going to hold. Yastrzemski fires it right back in. First and second, nobody out. And Johnny Bench is the batter.
That was a good play by Yastrzemski in left, holding Griffey to second base. He was playing over toward left center field as Morgan is a strict pull hitter, and he had a long way to go down the left field line, and here comes DJ.
Darrell Johnson making a walk towards the mound.
Now, during the season and so far in this World Series, Darrell prefers to leave his starting pitchers in. He is not quick with the hook, to the opposite, actually, of Sparky Anderson. He said way back in spring training, I know what the man in there can do. I may not know what the man in the bullpen can do. That is why sometimes I stay with my man instead of going to the bullpen. And he's following that routine right here.
And he'll do it even more with Tiant because he knows what he's been worth to this club, and he's the man that brings home the money.
Drago continues to throw in the Red Sox bullpen. Tiant in the jam. Griffey is on at second base. Morgan is on at first base. Johnny Bench, who got a big 2-out single in the 5th to tie it up for the Cincinnati Reds. Petrocelli's even with the bag. Nobody out, all tied. 3 apiece. Strike. Sidearm curveball.
Rico in a spot down in third as though he's almost looking for Bench to sacrifice in this situation. And he is giving a lot of ground to his left because of that. I would doubt that Johnny's going to be called on to bunt. He hasn't bunted much in his career.
He'd be shocked if he got the bunt sign. 1 strike pitch. Left field, Yastrzemski's going back and has the room. Bench hit that with 1 hand.
He is going for the wall tonight. He is really reaching out over the plate, just trying to get the ball in the air. Look at it, Joe.
Watch this pitch and watch how he just kind of reaches out with one hand and hits it. Held on to it with the left hand. Didn't really get that good snap into it.
You heard the oohs and ahs in the crowd because they didn't know where that was, but Yastrzemski knew all the way, and that's why he was able just to backpedal and make the catch. Made a quick throw to second, too, just in case Griffey there might have been lingering.
He keeps you honest. Here is Perez. Perez struck out in the second, singled to right in the fourth, and struck out in the fifth. All tied, 3 apiece. One man out. Right field. Evans is there. Griffey tagging up. Here's the throw. It is cut off. So it's first and third, 2 outs, and George Foster is the batter.
Foster, the guy who has given Tiant more trouble than anybody else on this Cincinnati ball club.
Foster fouled at the first baseman in the second inning. He was safe on an error in the fourth inning and tapped back to Tiant in the sixth. Tonight he's 0 for 3, 5 for 22 in the series.
Burleson wants to know where to play him. Where are you going to pitch him, Louie? I want to know, should I shade him in the hole? Should I move more up the middle? Depends upon if he's going to give him breaking stuff, keep the ball away, and now Fisk wants to get the same thing straight in his mind. He wants Burleson back. We're going to talk it over.
Well, I think it's a double steal that they might be trying to defense against. They got two good base runners, especially at first base with Morgan and Griffey with good speed, and Fisk wants to make sure that Burleson and Tiant both that we're all together on what I'm going to do. Last time it was a double steal. He threw to the shortstop.
Alex Grammas just went into the Cincinnati dugout. He's conferring with Sparky Anderson. He's out now. Whispered something to Griffey. So
it'd surprise me, Dick and Joe, if Fisk threw the ball on to second base with that kind of speed on third base and Griffey.
I'll tell you, if he does, it's going to have to beat Doyle, who doesn't have the stronger arm of Burleson and between Burleson and Doyle.
Second and short are way off the back and deep. They're just going to give him second base if he wants it.
Foster waits. There goes Martin. Foul back.
Nobody covered.
Nobody covered.
And they got a strike, and he has to come back, so they were lucky there. I think this is a pretty big moment of this ball game right here, Joe.
Well, it is, and they're just going to concede second base. They're just going to give it to him. If he wants it, let him have it. Fisk went through the motions of setting himself up to throw, but you can see how far they are and how deep they are. And Morgan is getting a big lead.
Worry about one man, George Foster.
That's who they're worried about. Now he wants to walk a while. Morgan appears to be ready to take off again at first base. And they're going to give it to him. There he goes. Straight away center field. Lynn is going back. That ball is off the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes Morgan. He'll score. And the Cincinnati Reds lead 5-3. Ball hit high off the top of the wall. A double for George Foster.
He has been one of the men, or the key man, who's been able to figure out Louis Tiant.
So 5-3, the Cincinnati Reds lead in the top half of the 7th inning here. A double by Foster. Here's Concepcion, who is 0 for 3. That ball just seemed to carry and carry and carry. Hit it in the deepest part of the ballpark. High, ball 1. That Foster, he looked like he had some ideas of going. Nobody is keeping him close. Burleson protects the hole, and Doyle, he's got a long way to come.
Well, he's in scoring position right now with 2 down. One of the cardinal rules of baseball, don't get thrown out at third. Give the man at the plate a chance to drive you in. But silence in this park. They're seeing Louis Tiant, the man who's been a hero all year long, hit for 5 runs by Cincinnati.
High. 2 balls and no strikes. Foster keeps looking at Grammas like he wants permission to come over. A manager, at least the guys I played for, Tony, if you were 90% sure you could make it, they'll say, come on over. Just don't get thrown out because you are in scoring position, but obviously you're better off at third than you are at second. You better be sure you can make it before you start to make a move. Big lead. 2 balls and a strike.
Tony, you mentioned the fact that Fenway Park is awfully silent. I think it has been silent ever since Freddie Lynn crashed into the center field wall and got hurt. On the play, 2 runs scored. An out later, Bench got a hit to tie it up. The Red Sox have had a man on, but the crowd really has not got it going. They haven't been generated any real enthusiasm since that injury. I think they were taken down a notch when Cincinnati tied it 3-3, and of course now they're really quiet.
They have not been able to regroup. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, 5-3, Cincinnati leading. Hot smash. Burleson's going to have a long throw. There it is. He makes it. Beautiful throw. That ends the inning, but Cincinnati scoring 2 runs. Bottom of the 7th, 5-3, Cincinnati. Bottom half of the 7th inning, Denny Doyle, Carl Yastrzemski, and Carlton Fisk will be the 3 batters for the Red Sox, trailing by 2. 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for Cincinnati. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Red Sox.
Number 5.
Doyle, 1 for 3.
Second base, ball.
Morgan, in saying something to Bourbon. Bourbon is the 5th pitcher used by Sparky Anderson. Nolan, Norman, Billingham, Carroll, and Bourbon. Ball 1. Rose is in close at third. He's expecting a bunt. Or protecting against him. Popped up. And Concepcion takes charge. Hit him right on the handle. 1 away, and here is Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski single in the 1st inning, scored on Quedlin's home run, a 3-run homer. Fisk single right after Yastrzemski. And then Carl popped the third and to second in the 3rd, and single to left in the 5th. Strike this call.
I think most of the time in this series, the team that has scored first has gone on to lose.
Red Sox jumped out with 3 big runs in that 1st inning on that 3-run homer. Reds tied it in the 5th with 3. That's low, and it's 1-1. 2 in the 7th, and that's the way we stand.
Sparky continues to have his bullpen going.
Morgan will have to hustle. He's got it. Balls are taking kind of funny bounces in that infield. Infield, though, I'll tell you, the rains we had here yesterday, it was a mess, and a real tribute to Joe Mooney and his ground crew, as this field is in such great shape. They really worked. Fisk, 5 for 20 in the series. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Single in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, hit into a force play in the 5th. Bourbon really slings the ball outside, ball 1.
One thing he's got to have on his mind right now is don't walk anybody, make him hit himself on. Don't get that tying run to the plate.
It's about what Bench is doing too, Tony, putting down number 1 for fastball and throw me a strike. 1-1.
That's one of Sparky Anderson's prime requisites for anybody out of his bullpen, and the 2 kids and the 2 veterans, Bourbon and Carroll, can do it. That is throw strikes.
Bouncing ball, Concepcion, 1-hand grab. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Red Sox. So at the end of 7, it's Cincinnati 5, Boston 3. Top of the 8th inning, it'll be Cesar Geronimo to lead it off for the Cincinnati Reds.
We may see a pitcher actually come to bat for the Reds tonight, Joe.
Dick, I was just looking down there to see who was going to be there, and I saw Bourbon. I had to double check there because that's really been what's been happening with the pinch hitters. Well hit right field. That ball, if it's fair, she's gone. It is a fair ball. Home run for Geronimo. Geronimo, a fair ball, a home run right down that right field line. And it's a 6-3 ball game. That's his second home run of this series. And on the first pitch in the 8th inning, here comes Darrell Johnson. First pitch, Geronimo, a home run.
And Cincinnati getting a little bit closer to a World's Championship as Darrell Johnson makes the call to his bullpen, a left-hander Moret. The Reds just 6 outs away. Their last World's Championship was in 1940.
Tony, I gotta believe when Tiant walks off, the picture will say it all.
No question.
Here comes Moret, and there goes Tiant.
But this is the story right here as far as the Red Sox are concerned. Standing ovation. Well-deserved for Luis Tiant.
He has been a great pitcher through clutch situations in September Championship Series. 2 complete game victories. First 2 since 1971, and Steve Blass, a local hero.
Luis Tiant gets his jacket and just going to watch it for now. So we've got a break in the action here at Boston. The score is Cincinnati 6 and Boston 3. The new Red Sox pitcher is Roger Moret, and we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Well, there he is, Dick. What can you tell us about him?
A very live fastball. Supported it this year with a good change of pace. Roger Moret has a lifetime Major League record of 41 victories and 18 defeats, and you don't find many pitchers with that kind of a winning percentage. A lot of people have criticized, hasn't been a starting pitcher the last 2 seasons, but then mid-season becomes a starting pitcher. He does nothing but win for you. Very fine fastball, as we saw the other night when he struck out Merv Rettenmund right before Morgan got the game-winning hit, and balances out well with a let-up hit.
First pitch to Bourbon is tapped foul. That's right, he came in that real tough situation, and he just came right at the Cincinnati Reds. He pitched to the third of an inning in the third game.
Red Sox fans are not going to get today what they came to see. Moret might hold him, but if Boston doesn't come back, it's going to be anticlimactic. They came to see Tiant, Red Sox fans, that is. Cincinnati fans have got to be a little thrilled right now. They may see a World's Championship, the first since 1940, brought back to Cincinnati.
Bourbon, strike 2. Moret threw the fastball right by him. 6-3, Cincinnati leading. We're in the top of the 8th. A home run by Geronimo is added to the lead. Bouncing ball. Whoops, takes a tricky hop. Cecil Cooper, nice play. That ball hit right at the edge of the grass and seemed to die. Good play by Cooper.
Here's Cooper, hit the edge of the grass. Pitcher running, he knows he's got plenty of time. He takes it himself. Joe and Dick, we've seen and heard or been in ballparks where there have been eerie feelings. This is one of those times. Since Freddie Lynn hit the wall, and you mentioned it before, Dick, the crowd has just changed so completely. Of course, the Cincinnati runs had something to do with that, too, and a big hit by Griffey.
There's a foul ball out of play.
But even Tiant walking off the mound, although he had some people standing, wasn't as big an ovation as I thought I would hear for Luis Tiant, who's done so well.
That's a good point, Tony. He did get a standing ovation, but perhaps not as loud and prolonged as you might expect under that circumstance. I think the fans are still thinking of Lynn and thinking of the runs and the fact that their club is losing. Let's face it. It's 6-3 and we're in the 8th inning.
And the time is running out.
Sand is moving down that hourglass in a hurry for him.
1-1 to count on Pete Rose.
Here's that letter.
Right back to Moret. Big high change of pace. Rose is out. There it was. You get the feeling that when Lynn hit the wall, the crowd, as a group, lost their breath and just never regained it.
You see, they're used to seeing Fred Lynn crash against walls, make diving catches, jump over other outfielders. Never this season has he gotten hurt. Never has he been shaken up. This was the first time they saw this fantastic rookie, and I've got to use that word because he'd probably be MVP as well as Rookie of the Year, get shaken up in a game. They've never seen it.
He gave it a great try. Here's Griffey, who's the man of the hour, hits one to center field. Fred Lynn gets a slow jump and comes in to make the play. So, Moret does the job. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The score, Cincinnati 6, Boston 3. Bottom of the 8th for the Boston Red Sox. It'll be Lynn, Petrocelli, and Evans. And it'll be against Bourbon. Lynn hit a 3-run homer in the first inning. That's been all the scoring. And that came off with Gary Nolan. Fred Norman, Jack Billingham, Clay Carroll, and now Bourbon have held the Red Sox to only 3 hits. So the bullpen has really done a job for the Cincinnati Reds.
And 2 of the key men are still down there and available. The 2 youngsters, Eastwick, who has 2 victories. He's a right-hander. And McEnany. They were big men all year long for Sparky Anderson. And he's still got them available in case the Red Sox get something going.
Bottom of the 8th. Bourbon against Lynn. Off his leg, Bourbon challenging it, but he can't make a play. Lynn, a single. Tremendous effort by Bourbon.
And you saw Bench jump out from behind home plate. Right off the leg. Watch Bench jump out, yelling to Bourbon not to throw the ball. Hold it. Don't throw it away. Don't let that man get in scoring position. That man behind the plate is always stinky. He'd have grabbed him if he'd tried to throw it.
Rico Petrocelli coming up right here, and of course he's going to have to make a decision after this World Series is over, whether it ends today or tomorrow. Will he continue? That's a big issue as far as the Red Sox and of course Petrocelli personally is concerned, as Bourbon takes a few warm-up tosses. He's had a fine career here in Boston, Rico has, and that's going to be a pretty big decision for him, and this could, if the Reds go on and win, be his last at-bat.
The middle ear problem that he's had. Bourbon against Rico Petrocelli. 6-3. Cincinnati leading. Didn't mean to swing. It is foul. Just want to point out, as you did, Tony, on Bench, telling Bourbon not to throw. That's the difference between a take charge guy and a holler guy. The holler guy, to me, is the guy who's always hollering a number of outs, and all you got to do is look at the scoreboard. And then comes a play where you have to make a decision. He gets lockjaw. Bench, he just told Bourbon, hold it, don't throw it away, keep that double play in order.
He has shown a kind of agility behind home plate in this series that you rarely have ever seen.
1 ball and 1 strike. Bourbon gives up his first hit. Cincinnati bullpen has come out and they've done the job so far. Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There you see Raleigh Eastwick, McEnany. They've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers and still have those 2 young fellas, and Gullett well rested. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's been kind of a sore spot with Sparky Anderson, Joe and Dick, when people have said down through the years that the ball club cannot win the big ones. He has gotten very irritated with those statements by a lot of people.
I don't blame him because, Tony, you played on championship clubs. I know, Joe, you did. To get there, you've had to win a lot of big ones.
It's been a well-managed series in both dugouts, Sparky Anderson and Darrell Johnson.
Now it's a 3-2 pitch. That's out of play. Good fastball. Petrocelli tried to check his swing. 6-3, Cincinnati leading. Bottom of the 8th. Fred Lynn is on at first base. Stays alive. Tension is really starting to build now. The on-deck batter, Evans. High. Bourbon walks it.
High run at the plate right now. Evans, who's been a big hitter for Boston, is coming to the plate. Here comes Sparky.
And of course, we all remember Game 3 of the series when the Reds had a 5-1 lead and the Red Sox refused to give up, as the Reds did not give up in Game 2. And he's already signaled for Raleigh Eastwick. That's been his key man coming out of the bullpen. And the Red Sox, of course, have not given up at any point this year. They were down to the Minnesota Twins run once by a score of 7-2 and won at 8-7. They staged some dramatic rallies, and I'm not surprised at what they're doing here. But Eastwick has been a tough customer for him.
Here he comes. He doesn't use that card. He comes trotting in, and he's going to have to face Evans, Burleson, and a pinch hitter.
And I would think that Bernie Carbo would be the man.
Carbo, who hit the big home run in Cincinnati. So we've got it building here to a tremendous climax. Sparky Anderson just waiting for Eastwick to get there. He wants his ball club to nail it down. Bench is just waiting. Morgan is in on a meeting. It'll be Evans. Evans was called out on strikes in the second inning. He doubled in the fourth. Bounced out to the second baseman in the sixth. Eastwick, it's his fifth appearance. He's 2-0 with one save, and if he gets a save tonight, he ties Larry Sherry's record.
Well, Evans represents the tying run, as we mentioned, with nobody out, 2 men on base. If this lead is maintained by Cincinnati, if Eastwick holds them, the series will be over. The Cincinnati Reds will be world's champions, the first time since 1940. One other time, 1919, they were world's champions. They waited a long time. However, if Boston comes back, they take this ball game. We'll see you here again tomorrow night, same time, preceded by Joe Garagiola and his Baseball World, and he'll come up with something we know.
Keep in mind this matchup, Eastwick and Evans. Evans homered off Eastwick in that third game. 2-run homer in the ninth inning to tie it up at 5-5.
There he
Sixth
is.
pitcher.
Nolan, Norman, Billingham, Carroll, Bourbon, Eastwick. Concepcion is in to say something. He tells Eastwick, looks like I'll be covering if the ball's hit back to you. Tying run is at the plate. One more pitch for Eastwick. There you see the situation. Lynn is on second. Petrocelli is on first.
Number 24.
7 for 20. The hot man.
Evans.
Eastwick, good fastball. High and tight, ball one. One ball, no strikes, nobody out. He was going for it. 1-1 the count on Evans. There you see him, Lynn at second, Petrocelli at first. Foul ball out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Raleigh Eastwick. What a job he has done for Sparky Anderson this year. As his whole bullpen. There is Burleson, the on-deck batter. Coming straight back, it'll be out of play. He didn't seem to have a good cut at that one. Six to 3, Cincinnati leading. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Tying run is at the plate. Outside. He let that one fly. 2-2.
He's just come in and thrown smoke so far. He hasn't worried about nibbling on outside corners. He's come inside a couple of times to Evans. Cincinnati bench.
Foul ball. He got that ball in. Evans gave it a tomahawk. I'll tell you about the tension as you look at the Red Sox manager Darrell Johnson. Bourbon is still seated on the Cincinnati bench. 2-2 pitch. Low, ball 3.
Oh, Johnny wanted that pitch. He turned on home plate umpire Sats Davidson. They thought they had Dwight Evans called out on strikes. Watch Benson, the reaction he'll give to Sats Davidson. Oh, that looked good.
Close.
Might have lost it when he came up with it. Here's the payoff. Struck him out. Eastwick comes back with a good fastball.
And you got to give him credit after what he thought was a lost pitch. He came right back, Joe. Evans helped him out. He swung at 3 bad pitches out of the strike zone that time up.
Here's Burleson now. Big strikeout for Eastwick. And there is the on-deck batter coming out, a pinch hitter, Bernie Carbo. There you see him. Low, ball 1. 6-3, Cincinnati leading. Bottom of the 8th, 6th game of the World Series. Left field, Foster is there. Makes the play. 2 outs. Now it's Bernie Carbo. Carbo hit the first pitch in Cincinnati as a pinch hitter in Game 3 and hit it over the left field wall.
Carbo, one time the #1 draft choice of the Cincinnati Reds. You heard it before, but that's the irony of this game. He was drafted before Johnny Bench. Here comes Morgan. He wants to know how Eastwick is going to pitch him.
Well, Carbo's a good inside-out swinger, and most teams this year try to pitch him well inside. They try to jam Carbo. In fact, he hit that home run, as you mentioned, Joe, but the other time he was retired, he also hit the ball solidly to left field.
Right. They're playing him to left field, too, Dick. Foster is way over near the line. A lot of room in left center. Right.
Saw Joe Morgan turn and look at his outfield, move them all back. Anything hit among them or between them, he wants that man at the plate kept out of scoring position. That's the important guy. He's a tying run.
2 outs. Inside, misses, 1-1. Single by Lynn opened the 8th inning. A walk to Petrocelli. Sparky Anderson went to his bullpen again. Eastwick got Evans on strikes and Burleson on a fly ball. 1-1 count on Bernie Carbo. Ball 2. Trying to keep that ball inside. Lynn at second. Petrocelli's at first. Good cut, good fastball, 2-2's the count. That was strength against strength. Good fastball hitter against a good fastball pitcher. Eastwick. Out of play.
That was the one, Joe. It was a little bit out over the plate. Carbo a little bit late on the swing.
He's had his cuts. Bernie Carbo, a pinch hitter. Two-two pitch. Just did get a piece of it to stay alive. You talk about fighting off a good pitch.
Looked like he hit that out of the catcher's glove.
He did.
Ball was down low. He did fight it off. Just got a piece of it. Just protecting the plate.
That's a kind boy. If you get a foul ball, you're really happy you did your job. Deep center field, way back, way back. We're tied up.
Well, the fans have come alive again, Tony, Joe. They are alive.
What a study of a manager, Darrell Johnson, and what a study of fans. And what a study of a bench. There he is, Bernie Carbo. 2 base hits, 2 home runs.
All stone-faced, they call him, but inside, he's a pretty happy man right now.
The fans are still at it.
Strike 1, Cecil Cooper.
And Carbo ties Chuck Esigian's record for the Dodgers in 59, 2 pinch hit home runs in a series.
I tell you, these 2 clubs have battled and battled, and they're battling again. Foul straight back. Boston jumped out to a 3-run lead in the bottom of the first. Cincinnati tied it with 3 in the 5th. Cincinnati 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Red Sox tied it with 3 in the bottom of the 8th. And we're all tied at 6 apiece. And that ends the inning, but at the end of 8, Cincinnati 6, Boston 6. Listen to that crowd. All tied up, and the Boston Red Sox have made some changes in their lineup. Carbo's in left field, and there is Carbo when he sees the ball go into the seats. Look at the reaction, look at the fans, and look at Carbo. Ah, yes. Can't help but always think of Campanella's great line as we watch Drago, the new pitcher, coming in. You got to be a man to play baseball, but you have to have a lot of little boy in you. And there was a lot of little boy jumping out of Carbo, who's now in left field, and Yastrzemski has moved over to first base. We're in the top of the 9th, and Dick, I tell you, it's only fitting that these 2 clubs would battle like this because they've been battling throughout the whole season, through the championship series, and in this World Series, it's really been seesaw.
This has to be one of the better World Series we have seen in recent years. You talk about 3 one-run games, an extra inning game in there, and now a 6-6 contest. And I'll tell you something, the Red Sox have come back, and it's incredible that a club so young that hasn't really had the baptism under fire in postseason play until this season has the poise to come back time and time again.
That they have, and now it's the Reds. We're all tied up. And Joe Morgan, 5 for 21 in the series. And he's 1 for 4 tonight. He singled and scored in the 7th. Scored on Foster's double. Drago misses, ball 1. One and 1.
Drago will come right in, no secrets or tricks. He'll challenge you with the heat, the fastball. He led the club in saves this year.
This is his 2nd appearance. He was a loser in game 2. Good live fastball, as you heard Dick Stockton mention. Strike 2. This crowd, a crowd that was spent, has come to life. 3-run homer by Bernie Carbo has tied it up. High, 2-2. Joe Morgan, the man who kicks the big red machine into gear, according to Pete Rose. Popped up. Yastrzemski taking charge. Makes the play. Called a fair ball by first base umpire Art Franz. 1 away. Here is Johnny Bench. Bench was out on strikes in the 1st, out on strikes in the 4th, and then got a big 2-out RBI single in the 5th that tied it up and lined hard to left in the 7th. Hit it with one hand. Did he go around? Ask him. No, says the first base umpire, Art Franz. Ball 1.
You know, when Carbo hit that home run, I have to recall the previous pitch when he just managed to fight off a pitch and foul it off. Huh?
That's right.
All you need is that second chance.
Game of inches they talk about. Petrocelli, one-hand grab. 2 away.
All right, Petrocelli guarding the line, going to his left. What a September he's had at bat and in the field. Scooped it up, knew he had plenty of time, and a good true throw over to Carl Yastrzemski to get Johnny Bench.
Bill Lee says Petrocelli knows every hop around third base. And here's Perez inside, ball 1. Tony is 1 for 4. Struck out in the 2nd, the 5th, single in the 4th. Fly to right in the 7th. Low, ball 2. Off the handle, may be playable. Yastrzemski in foul territory, makes the play. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 9th. All tied. Cincinnati 6, Boston 6. Oh, boy.
Picture tells the story, and the sound, too.
Big red machine has power failure, says the sign. It'll be Doyle, Yastrzemski, and Fisk in the bottom of the 9th. Red Lynn. It's the meat of the lineup for Raleigh Eastwick.
And, of course, Joe, Sparky Anderson, as he has throughout the series, using a lot of pitchers, getting the hook out early. You get into an extra inning battle, and you've used just about everyone. He has McEnany, who hasn't appeared, but he doesn't have many more.
High, ball 1. Foul ball, 1-1. Doyle is 1 for 4. He bounced out Perez to the pitcher, doubled to right in the 3rd, bounced out Morgan the 1st, and popped to the shortstop in the 7th. There's 7 base hits in the series. High. 2-1. All 3. Down Zimmer. He's hollering. Take a look. See that little finger moving? Does that mean something? Who knows? Here it comes. All 4. Johnny Bench wanted that one. A little bit of confusion, but it was ball 4. Now what do you do, Dick?
Well, Joe, man on first, nobody out. You want to get him to second. However, Carl Yastrzemski, I believe, has not sacrificed at all in 1975.
Well, here we got some more drama then. Will he bunt? Will he ask him to bunt?
If he does, it'll be the first time. Darrell likes him to hit away. So this will be interesting.
Here it comes. He squares around. Fouls it off. He's got to get a run. Yastrzemski, 7 for 22 in the series. Has not bunted all year, says Dick Stockton, who broadcasts the Red Sox games.
He's beaten out some drag bunt situation, but nothing in a sacrifice.
Foul ball as he switched off. Strike 2. Doyle returns at first. You can see the determination, the tension as you look at Yastrzemski. Eastwick. Bottom of the 9th. Right field, base hit. Griffey. Up with it. Doyle heads for 3rd. He's there.
Drama in World Series play. We talk about these Reds as Sparky Anderson comes out of the dugout. The Red Sox refusing to give up. now in a very enviable position of having runners at first and third, nobody out in the bottom of the ninth inning. Fly ball, and of course, I'm sure we will see the infield and outfield drawn in, just as the Red Sox had the same situation as McEnany gets the call in Cincinnati.
Sparky is going to have to make his move. The big run, of course, is on at third. Obviously, he'll walk Fisk to load him up, and it'll be up to Fred Lynn, Petrocelli, and Evans. Zimmer has gone in to the dugout. He wants to talk to the manager, Darrell Johnson, while Johnny Bench has a meeting as they wait for Will McEnany to come in. We have really had it here. Pesky and Zimmer having a meeting at first base. Pesky coaching at first and Zimmer coaching at third. We got meetings everywhere. There you see Yastrzemski and Perez. In the coach's box, it's Pesky. That meeting breaks up as we wait for McEnany. 3 runs by Boston in the bottom half of the first. A home run by Lynn, a 3-run homer. That gave him a 3-0 lead. Tiant coasting along till the 5th when Cincinnati came up with 3 runs. Big blast was a triple by Griffey. Cincinnati added 2 runs in the 7th. A double by Foster driving into 2 runs. Then there was a home run by Geronimo. So it was a 6-3 ball game until the 8th inning when Barbone, the 5th relief pitcher used by Sparky Anderson, a hit by Lynn, a walk to Petrocelli. They made a change. On came Eastwick. He got Evans on strikes. Burleson flied to left, and then Carbo hit a dramatic 3-run homer and came within inches of being out of there as he fouled off a real tough pitch, low inside curveball, and then hit a home run into the center field seats. And now it's first and third, nobody out. McEnany will be facing Fisk, Lynn, Petrocelli.
And I think there's no question that Fisk will be walked to load the bases. And of course, we only see one outfielder for Cincinnati. That's Griffey and Wright.
Everybody's having a meeting because McEnany's got to come in, and he's going to have to really let out to get a strikeout from Lynn. The tension, you can see all kinds of possibilities here. There you see the Reds bench. Sparky Anderson, George Scherger, Darrell Johnson, Eddie Poposky.
Foster and Geronimo were conferring in left center field. This crowd is turned on, no question about it. Fisk the batter, and they're going to walk him. McEnany making his 4th series appearance, no record, 4 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, and he has struck out the 5 batters. And he'll need a strikeout of Fred Lynn, Joe.
He's got to go get it. He's got to let out, so it'll be a battle, a good hitter against a good pitcher. And how much tighter a spot, how much hotter a seat can you want than the bottom of the 9th? With the bases loaded, nobody out. And there goes Carlton Fisk to first. Yastrzemski goes to second. Here comes Fred Lynn. Lynn hit a 3-run homer in the first. He had a base hit in the 8th. He scored 2 runs. He was knocked in 3.
Griffey and Geronimo are shallow. The left fielder, Foster, moves over to the line. He's not quite as shallow as the other 2 outfielders. The infielders in as well. It's all right here, Joe.
Here it is. High fly ball, left field. Foster's got a shot. They're tagging up at third. Here comes the throw. It is in time. Doyle is out. Foster to bench. A double play.
Here's the throw. Foster made the catch in foul territory. He needed a perfect throw to keep the Reds from losing this game, and it was. And Bench make the swipe tag. No question about it. Denny Doyle out at home.
Watch the tag by Bench. It's the same kind of tag Fisk made in Cincinnati, like a first baseman. Makes the grab and one hand and swipe tag. Gets him before he gets down. Denny Doyle is out. A double play. Sparky Anderson is out there once again. Oh, brother.
Second guessers may have a picnic.
You always have a picnic when the man is out. Foster made a decision. This time it turned out right.
Don Zimmer has been an aggressive third base coach all season long. He believes that it takes a very fine throw to get the men most of the time. Here is Doyle. Now there's his start. He put on the speed, but it took a fine throw, and as you pointed out, a good tag by Johnny Bench to double off Denny Doyle at home plate. Yastrzemski went to third, holding at first Fisk, and Rico Petrocelli.
So there are 2 outs. Petrocelli with Yastrzemski at third and Fisk at first. Foul ball, strike 1. A one-bounce perfect throw by George Foster to Johnny Bench. Got Denny Doyle. McEnany. There goes Fisk. Swung on a bouncing ball. He goes, has it. The throw to first in time. And now we go into extra innings. The score at the end of 9, Cincinnati 6 and Boston 6. This game, this 6th game, key home runs, Carbo's, Foster's, double, Griffey's triple, and Foster's throw here to get Denny Doyle. I tell you, they'll be talking about that right into the middle of winter. Should he have gone? Should he have stayed? At any rate, a tremendous, tremendous ball game, a brand new ball game. This crowd has been up and down like a yo-yo all night long, just playing on the emotions. We go to the top of the 10th. 6-6, Drago is the pitcher. He'll be facing Foster, Concepcion, and Geronimo. And to tell you about it, here is Dick Stockton.
Thank you, Joe. And the crowd a bit more subdued now. When you have the bases loaded, nobody out, I think most of the Red Sox fans here, maybe some of the Cincinnati fans as well, felt that this was going to be it. And, of course, I can see Don Zimmer's point. Foster's going near the line. He knows he's got the wall there, makes the one-handed catch. He's a perfect throw. On the other hand, you could say, well, you don't send him. It's 1 out, bases loaded. Fly ball can get him in. That's what's great about baseball. You know, you have differences of opinion. This was a very dramatic moment, though, for a very key play. George Foster, who doubled home the 2 runs that put the Reds in front in the 7th inning, will lead it off here in the 10th against Drago, who retired the Reds in order in the 9th, and Foster, as he has done all series long, steps out of the box. Foster has 6 hits in the series and 2 runs batted in. Petrocelli guarding the line at third and even with the bag. And the cat and mouse game goes on. Now Drago is taking his time. Foster didn't like it. 6-6 the score. The Reds have out-hit the Red Sox 11-9. One hopper to Burleson at shortstop. Dumps it over to Yastrzemski, 1 out. Well, this is the second extra inning game of the series. Game 3 won by the Reds in 10, 6-5. And there were 2 in the 73 series between the Mets and the A's, and in a number of series before that. Dave Concepcion, been retired 4 times tonight. As we've mentioned so many times, you can never take the bottom third of the Cincinnati order lightly. They have power and speed as well as just as the top half does. They'll look from the scoreboard in left field. Gray goes high with that pitch. Two balls and no strikes. From the month of June or July until late August, Jim Willoughby was the top right-hander out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. He was acquired from the Cardinals' Tulsa farm. And then Willoughby had his problems, had a little stiffness, and Drago really came on in last month. He was superb. In fact, underrated. Might have been the best relief pitcher in the American League the last month. He's high with that fastball, and he's behind Concepcion. 3 balls, no strikes. Jim Burton, left-hander, is heating up in the Red Sox bullpen. The 3-0 pitch, taking all the way Concepcion. It's a strike. There's Burton, 25-year-old left-hander, called up after pitching a no-hitter in Pawtucket, the Red Sox AAA farm, in June. The 3-1 to Concepcion, and a base hit up the middle. That's the 12th hit of the game for the Reds against Boston pitching. Concepcion is on at first, and we'll see Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo homered just inside the foul pole, deep into the grandstand in the 8th inning to lead things off to give the Reds what seemed at the time perhaps an insurmountable 6-3 lead. The Red Sox tied it with 3 in the 8th on Carbo's pinch hit 3-run homer, and now we're in the 10th.
Concepcion can run and will run.
The pitcher spot is on is next, and McEnany, now with the jacket, is on the top step of the dugout. 1 out, Concepcion at first. We're in the top of the 10th inning, and Drago goes over to Yastrzemski again.
Remember in game 2, Concepcion came through with the base hit and then stole second and scored on Griffey's double. So you got to watch him, and Drago is doing exactly that.
That was close. Art France right on top of the play.
Concepcion has been digging like almost a place to put his feet once he gets out and gets his lead. Watch him get out there. He's pawing much like a nervous racehorse. There he goes.
Drago has not yet pitched to the batter, Geronimo. Here's his first pitch to Cesar, a fastball for a strike. Drago, the third Red Sox pitcher. Louis Tiant worked 7 innings plus, allowed 6 runs on 11 hits. Barrett worked an inning, and Drago in his 2nd inning of work for the Red Sox. Diving back and losing his helmet, Concepcion.
That was the best move that Drago has made so far. He really had Concepcion leaning. Watch him. He measures it. He's getting his mark right there. He was leaning. He had him caught. He had some ideas, and Drago put a pretty good move on him. He popped a shoestring with that one.
Strike 1, the count to Geronimo. 1 out, and Concepcion the runner at first. He got back. Talked about the crowd being up and down like a yo-yo. Well, they're really subdued right now.
Dave is trying to get a whole new kind of feel out there. He has dug the hole so deep that it was almost, I guess, a hindrance to him. He's measured it. He went out before the game with Morgan to measure.
Strike 1, the count to Geronimo. 1 out. Concepcion with a good lead at first. We're in the top of the 10th inning. 6-6 the score. He doesn't go. The fastball is outside. In his last 3 seasons, Concepcion has been successful in about 85% of his stolen base attempts. Got a good track record. 1-1 to Geronimo. Again. Get that uniform dirty. Yastrzemski holding the runner. 6-6 the score, 10th inning. There goes the runner. Swung on and missed. The throw is high. Missed the tag. Well, Burleson tried to swipe a tag, and in with the stolen base is Geronimo.
He got a good jump, and it's a straight steal, although he keeps looking back to see look like what Geronimo is going to do. Concepcion, the throw was high. He just didn't get him. Let's watch Fisk now. He had a good ball to handle. The throw is just simply high, and he slides under the tag. The ball was there ahead of the runner.
Concepcion now 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts, and he's made them all, of course, in this series. And the lead run is in scoring position. The count is 1-2 to Geronimo, who has 2 hits, a single, and a home run tonight, and 4 times up. On deck, the pitcher spot. McEnany with his jacket on in the on deck circle. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Gets a piece of it, fouls it back.
That was quite a battle with Concepcion. He had to work for that stolen base. He worked very hard. And Fisk, his throw, he had a good ball to handle, was high, and he just slid under the tag.
The Reds also like to steal third, and Concepcion has been the man who has stolen third more than any other player on the Reds team this year. So we'll watch him. 1-2 the count. Geronimo the batter. Again gets a piece of it.
Dick, you talk about the crowd being yo-yo. I think our technicians, as we look at McEnany and especially Tony Kubek, Tony had gone down to the Cincinnati dugout in case they had were the world's champions for the celebration, and then they tied it, and they're switching. I guess they're right behind home plate now, waiting to see what's going to happen.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Geronimo has been up for quite a while. A lot of tosses to first. 2-2 now. Concepcion is on at second. We're in the 10th inning. Dick Drago retired 4 batters before Concepcion bounced a single up the middle with 1 out here, and then he stole second. And time is called.
Carbo in left field. Dick plays a little deeper, it looks to me, than Yastrzemski.
Yes, I think so. I think Carbo is not as familiar with left field. He played most of the year when he was in the lineup in right field this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drago thought he had it. Full count now.
Reason you mentioned Carbo is that the straightaway in center field, Lynn is right in line, Evans is pretty much straight away. Carbo may be shading a bit towards the line. There you see the defense deep, and Concepcion on a base hit could conceivably score. With Yastrzemski out there, would be shallow, you'd have a better shot at him.
Right now, it doesn't look like any of the outfielders are shallow enough to make a play, unless it's hit hard and right at the plate. Geronimo strikes out. Big strikeout for Drago on a pitch out of the strike zone.
It's also a foul tip held on to by Fisk, and that's why there's a delayed call. You can watch Satch Davison, the umpire, make the delayed call. It's a foul tip held on to by Fisk as it goes right into his webbing. Now watch the call by the umpire. He hasn't called it a strike yet, and now he's getting some help, and there it is.
Well, we're going to see another pinch hitter, Dan Driessen.
Daryl Johnson is coming out to talk to Drago as Driessen comes out of the Cincinnati dugout. Johnson makes his walk towards the mound. Gives us a chance to tell our viewers that the Tonight Show will not be seen due to the length of this game. The Tomorrow Show will be seen in exactly 30 minutes after this game ends. And I know Tom Snyder is probably watching this game. In fact, he was going to come up for the weekend series, but got rained out of it. So Tom Snyder and the Tomorrow Show will be seen 30 minutes after this game.
Daryl Johnson out talking with Drago, just filling him in on Dan Driessen, a very fine natural hitter. Hit 281 during the year, 7 homers, 38 runs batted in, and he's making his first World Series appearance. 2 men out, Concepcion on at second. So Driessen will be the pinch hitter, and we will see the 8th Cincinnati pitcher to tie a record in the bottom of the 10th inning. And that would make 11 in the game. Red Sox using 3, and that would tie a record. So here's Dreesen with 2 out and Concepcion at second. Dreesen's a good hitter. 2 out, 6-6 tie. We're in the top of the 10th inning. Dick Drago on the mound for Boston. Fastball on the outside corner. 4 pinch hitters for the Reds tonight. Armbruster walked and an infield hit by Crowley. Cheney fly to left. 1 strike to count. Another fastball. 1-1 to count. Pete Rose, top of the order, is waiting to hit.
Drago's really letting it out, Richard. He is throwing hard.
That's what he did in game 2. Of course, Griffey got the hit, but Drago had as good a fastball in game 2 as he did at any point this season. The 1-1 pitch. In the air. Behind third. Burleson, Petrocelli, and Carbo one-hander. In fair territory to retire the side. We'll take another look. As Burleson, Petrocelli, and Carbo all converge in a very tricky area down the left field line.
Carbo, everybody gets there. Looked like the fans were going to make the play, and he almost overran that ball, had to reach back.
It's 6-6 to the bottom of the 10th.
Here's the end of the play again. The pop fly hit by Dreesen. There goes Burleson, Petrocelli, but watch Carbo. Fans with gloves on. Look at that one guy. He wants to make the play, and all of a sudden he pulls back, and Carbo almost overruns that ball.
You know, Joe, there was a game this year with the Brewers and the Red Sox when Rick Miller was going after a fly down the right field line and had the play, and a fan put out his glove and made the catch, and it was a home run that cost the Red Sox a game.
Oh, boy.
Well, the bottom of the 10th inning, Dwight Evans has doubled in 4 times up. Pat Darcy, the 8th Cincinnati pitcher. Sparky Anderson pulling out all the stops here. He does not want to see this series go to a 7th game, apparently. He does have Don Gullico waiting in the wings if it does. So Pat Darcy, the new pitcher, and Evans fouls off the first pitch. Evans batting .333 in this World Series. Has 4 runs batted in, a homer, a double, and a triple. Missed the fastball, 2 strikes. That's over everybody. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Darcy is 25 years old, born in Troy, Ohio, now lives in Tucson, Arizona, 6'4". A rookie, won 11 games this year. A lot of people think he could have won 20. That's low. 2-2 to Evans. He'll be followed by Rick Burleson and Bernie Carbo. Rick Wise, who was the biggest winner for the Red Sox with 19 triumphs in the bullpen. And off the glove, Darcy hurries and just makes it in time to nip Evans. 1 out in the 10th inning.
Take a look at it, how Darcy stays with it, and he had to make a pretty good throw. Evans hustling all the way. Sometimes a pitcher will pick it up and for some reason throw a change of pace that way. Just doesn't get enough on it.
Rick Burleson has walked twice tonight. He's been up 4 times. 1 out, 10th inning. 6-6 game. Ball 1. Red Sox got 3 in the first on Fred Lynn's 3-run homer, and there's Bernie Carbo, who tied it with a 3-run homer in the 8th in a pinch-hitting role. In between, the Reds got 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, a run in the 8th. There's a strike to Burleson, 1-1. "21 hits in this game, 12 by the Reds, 9 by Boston. The breaking ball is outside, 2-1 to Burleson. Pat Darcy, the 8th Cincinnati pitcher, and the Red Sox having used 3, and that ties a record. 11 pitchers in the series game. Pops it up. Concepcion will handle this one. 2 down. Well, here's Carbo, and let's listen to the crowd.
Johnny Bench is going out to talk to Darcy. It's quite a story. Carbo played for Sparky Anderson, and when we were in Cincinnati, there was a story that Carbo sought out Anderson because when he was playing for him, he thought that Sparky was picking on him and that he was riding him too hard. And Sparky said, someday you're going to thank me for it. And Carbo sought him out during his World Series to say, I thank you for what you did. I was wrong. You made me a better player. And tonight, it really comes home.
Tied Chuck Esesian's record, 2 pinch hit homers in a series. Takes a big cut, misses. 2 down, nobody on, last of the 10th inning. Looking ahead to the Cincinnati 11th, it'll be the top of the order, Rose, Griffey, and Morgan against Dick Drago. Strike 1 to Carbo. Took something off that pitch, 0-2. The Red Sox had the bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the score tied. Lynn flied out to Foster and left, caught the ball. Doyle running, was out at home in a big play of this game. And then Petrocelli bounced out to end the threat. Red Sox had a golden chance in the bottom of the 9th. And now we're in extra innings, bottom of the 10th. 1-2 pitch. Evens the count, 2-2. On deck, the pitcher, Dick Drago. And Carbo strikes out to retire the side. Good inning by Darcy. We have completed 10 innings. Score 6-6, and right now we pause for station identification.
Well, it'll be Pete Rose, Ken Griffey, and Joe Morgan. What can you say? Who can you point to in this game? You just can put all the names on the wall, throw a dart, and where it lands, you got yourself a hero. As you look at the scorecard, I tell you, Nolan against Tiant were the starters, and then it's Nolan, Norman, Billingham, Carroll, Bourbon, Eastwick, McEnany, and Darcy. Tiant went 7 innings, gave up the 6 runs. But here we are, all tied up. Drago against Rose. Should the Red Sox win it, we'll be right back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
I think fans have gotten everything they could expect out of this World Series, Joe.
I don't know what else. I don't know what you could write into it, Dick.
We've seen dramatic pitching. Louis Tiant. We've seen a very popular, dramatic figure on the mound, entertaining the fans. We've seen Cincinnati's power. We've seen good defense. We've seen chances being taken on the base paths by both clubs. Fine defensive play. Close games.
You've had the heroes come through, the guys you expected, and you had guys come through that, well, just unsung but good ball players. And here we go. 11th inning. Ball just popped out of Fisk's glove. I think he took something off his fastball. It's ball 1. Rose. There's the man, Griffey. Big triple in the 5th inning. Rose has 2 base hits tonight. Fouls it back. Fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rose. Bearing down. Fouled out of play. He was going to the opposite field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we know that Gullett would be the pitcher for Game 7, should there be a Game 7, as is for Cincinnati, and Lee would be the pitcher for the Red Sox. Both clubs would be ready. And the way this one's going, maybe with only 30 minutes rest. Did it hit him? It hit him. It hit him. And Fisk is going to argue. And here comes Darrell Johnson. Fisk is arguing, but Satch Davidson called it right now. Darrell Johnson wants to know.
Well, the two big disputes we've had centered around home plate area.
Well, Satch Davidson called it right away, and he was right on top of the play, and Darrell Johnson's arguing. Whatever he is saying to Johnson, Johnson seems to be buying. Carlton Fisk is not buying it.
All right, we're going to take another look at this. Let's see if it hits a uniform shirt or something. It must have been the shirt.
If it hit the shirt, it hit one of those strings that was dangling. I couldn't see it, I'll tell you the truth.
We didn't see any change of direction of that ball at all as it went past him. In any event, Rose is on.
He's on. Here is Griffey. Whoa, almost a balk as Yastrzemski broke in to protect against the bunt, and luckily Drago completed his throw to first base, or it would have been called a balk. Yastrzemski at first base looking for the bunt. Outside. Good fastball. Taking a good look now at third base coach Alex Grammas. Griffey. There's Grammas. Griffey tripled in the fifth. He singled in the seventh. We're all tied 6-6. Nobody out. Pete Rose on at first. High. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Once again, Griffey takes a look. Managers have been known to switch when that batter gets ahead. 2 balls and no strikes. I'll tell you, those infielders hate to see that. Come charging in and have a big guy swing that bat, boy. That's no man's land. Bunted in front of the plate. Fisk is going to go to second. The throw is in time. Fine throw by Carlton Fisk. Gets Pete Rose, who is head first sliding into second.
A lot of people have talked about two of the fine catches in baseball in this series. We've seen Johnny Bench's arm. Take a look at Carlton Fisk. A bullet to second and a big play, getting the lead runner, Pete Rose. Carlton Fisk, unanimous Rookie of the Year in the American League in 1972. It's an example of his arm, huh?
He picked that ball up with the bare hand, which is always a tough play. Set himself and threw a strike to Burleson in time to get Pete Rose. So there's one away. Here is Joe Morgan, 5 for 22. He singled and scored in the 7th inning. Griffey, good speed, is on at first base. Drago will be checking him. And there he is. Another throw. Griffey, another one of the Cincinnati Reds base runners who has the green light. He can go at any time he thinks he has to jump. Morgan waiting, 1 out. Tied, 6-6, 11th inning. Outside. Ball 1. Morgan. He gives the coach plenty of chances to go through signs, which is a good idea. If nothing else, he wants to know if Griffey is running, if he's got the green light, if he's got the no steal sign on. Some managers will give you a don't steal. Strike is called on the outside corner. A good fastball by Drago.
You heard that pop up here.
Tell you, he throws hard. He throws hard. And he challenges you. And that's what you need from that relief pitcher. Saw it as it came out of the Cincinnati bullpen. That's Griffey. Our split screen, we get to watch him. And there's a good throw, but almost threw it away. Now Morgan wants to talk to Grammas. He wants to make sure. Could be any number of things. It could be a play on, and it could also be the other side of the coin where he says to Grammas, look, flash your sign to tell him to stay there, put a rope on him and tie him to the bag because I want to hit, and it's just distracting me. Hitters have been known to do that. And it could be that he wants to know, is he going to run? If he's going to run, I'd like to know when, because it certainly wouldn't be a hit-or-take situation here with 1 ball and 1 strike. Morgan, the kind of a guy you could do a lot of things with. Well hit, right field, deep. Evans is going back near the wall, and oh, what a catch he made! What a catch by Dwight Evans, and it's a double play. Griffey didn't know what happened as Evans made a spectacular catch, and take a look at this.
Dwight Evans went way back. He had no room to go anymore. Watch it. He knew where he was. One-handed catch. Crashes against the wall. Now his throw is off the mark by about 20 feet to the right of first base. Burleson covered the bag. The double play. Big play of the game. And now we go to the bottom of the 11th inning, still tied at 6-all. We've seen it all.
Due up in the bottom of the 11th. There it is, the pinch hitter, Rick Miller, Denny Doyle, and Carl Yastrzemski. I tell you, this crowd, they just don't know which way to go. Every time you turn around, a spectacular play. We've had 2 double plays in this game. One of them by Foster in the clutch when he had to get Doyle at the plate or the game's over. And Evans in the clutch when he had to make the catch. Otherwise, Griffey with his speed would have scored.
Not only that, but he got rid of that ball in a hurry. Even though it was off the mark, he got rid of it in a hurry.
What I think he was thinking, Dick, was I'll get it back to the infield and let them worry about it because I don't know where Griffey is. Griffey had already rounded second base, and it ended up with Burleson covering. Here we go. Rick Miller is the pinch hitter. And it's ball 1. Here is the catch by Evans.
He went back. He had some more room. He made the leap and the one-handed grab, and then his momentum crashed him into the fence. Now look how fast he wheels and throws.
2 balls and no strikes. I think the reaction of the fans and the Cincinnati player in the bullpen said it all. The fans jumped straight up, and the Cincinnati player just kind of, It's been that kind of a game. Rick Miller batting for Drago. We're in the 11th. Tied, 6 apiece. Darcy. This one is out of play. Tony Kubek left with a 6-3 score. Looked like Cincinnati might wrap it up. We were getting set for the celebration. Carbo hits a home run, and it's all tied up, and they've been shuttling back and forth. Left field, near the stands. Foster's going over, and Concepcion, nobody can get it.
Say, if Miller can get on base, he is the best Red Sox base runner. And while he did not hit for average, did not really come up to the plate much this year, Joe, used mostly as a defensive replacement. When he has played, he has gotten some key clutch hits, especially against Baltimore. I remember a base hit late in the game or in extra innings that won it on the road. He was a smart ball player.
Well, I know everybody talks about his defensive ability. He's up there now with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the 11th, all tied. Rick Miller pinch hitting for Drago. Foul back. Red Sox bullpen obviously busy. Rick Miller pinch hits. That's Wise. Left field, Foster is there. Miller flies to Foster, 1 out.
Played him perfectly over toward the line. Miller, a spray hitter, can go to all fields, and Foster, of course, knew it.
Here is Doyle now.
for 5.
Doyle has one base hit. That was a double. Double to right in the third. It's amazing, Dick, when you see guys like Foster playing them perfectly like that, those scouts, how they can pinpoint the way fellas will hit certain pitches. Ball 1. What a World Series this has been. There's the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Darrell Johnson. Red Sox manager checking it out. Fouled out of play. Both ball clubs making that play when they had to. Yastrzemski, the on-deck batter. Bouncing ball, Concepcion. In time. So there are 2 away. Here is Yastrzemski. Yes, single and scored in the first. He popped the second, single to left in the 5th, and he singled to right in the 9th. Got 3 base hits. He's 3 for 5. Darcy wants Perez to play back, guard that line. Strike is called. Morgan is about 4 steps from the outfield grass at second base. Everybody is deep. With 2 outs, they figure Diaz will try to go for 1. And he had a good cut at that one, boys. He's up there trying to get that extra base hit. 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. One ball, 2 strikes. New baseball put into play by Satch Davidson. This crowd has been up and down and up and down. They're going to be drained. Nobody, obviously, has left the ballpark. The pitch to Concepcion, a bouncing ball, the throw. It's in time, so Yastrzemski is out. 3 up and 3 down. And we complete 11 innings. And we're tied at 6 apiece. Dick Stockton, what can you say?
Well, you know, both managers are pulling out all the stops, and Rick Wise, who has not relieved in a game all season long, is coming in. He is the 4th Red Sox pitcher and the 12th pitcher to appear in this game, which is a new World Series record. The old mark, 11, twice previously, a 67 series between these Red Sox in St. Louis, and in 73, Oakland and the Mets. But a new record established, 12 pitchers in a game, as Rick Wise, who won 19 games, as you see, and lost 12, will be the 4th Red Sox pitcher. Louis Tiant worked 7 innings plus, gave up all 6 runs the Reds scored, and also gave up 11 hits. Moret pitched an inning. Drago pitched 3 very fine innings, gave up a hit and struck out a batter, was helped along, though, by Dwight Evans' game-saving catch, you might say. And now Rick Wise, who, as we said, did not relieve this year or last year, but did relieve once while pitching for the Cardinals in 73.
There you see the quad shot, so pick the spot that you'd like to get an idea of which would be your favorite shot. I always like the one on the upper right-hand corner. Watch those pitcher's eyes. He's looking down again, and here he comes. Gives you that over-the-shoulder kind of peep look.
Very deliberate pitcher. Likes to take his time. You'll see him step off the mound and wipe his brow from time to time. He has not been that good at holding runners on. Concentrates a lot, but mostly on the batter. So Rick Wise, who relies on a good moving fastball and can hit the spot with those fastball, is in there now, and he's going to face some tough hitters. Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and George Foster.
Dick, his fist just has a short meeting. Looking at my scorecard, I think I could just go right down the line and find a hero among Carbo, Lynn, Evans, Foster, Geronimo, Griffey, Rose, Concepcion, Doyle, Yaz.
You've named just about everybody.
Fisk. That's the kind of game it's been.
Johnny Bench has an RBI single back in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 5. facing Rick Wise as we go to the top of the 12th inning of a 6-6 game. Fastball outside. They play Bench as a pull hitter. Popped up to the right side. Fisk going after it, and Pudge makes the catch and sits down. Fisk has made some fine plays and some fine attempts.
That is always a tougher play than it looks. It gets above the stands. Now, he's got that thing. He's got his sights on it. It looks like it's going in the stands, and now she starts to spin back and obviously loses his balance, and down he goes. But he was zeroed in on it. That's a tough play. I tell you, I appreciate it, I guess, more than most people because I can never make the play. That's why. If you can't do it, you appreciate somebody who can.
Tony Perez has a single and 5 trips to the plate. Takes low for ball 1. When Wise has his good live fastball, you'll see the ball popping off of the bats and being popped up to the right side. And Wise near no-hitter this year. Had a no-hitter with 2 out in the 9th inning in Milwaukee. That's all we saw. Brewers were just popping it up to the right side. There's a call strike, 1-1. George Scott said the ball just exploded off of the bat as it came in there. Well, that was Rick Wise at his best. 1-1 pitch. Perez cuts and misses.
Carlton checking that mask, and you can see him kind of give it a yawn because that hit him flush. And when you get hit flush like that, you feel like 2 or 3 of your fillings have dropped out. It comes right off the bat, right into your mask. There's nothing you can do. Now watch it. Right into it. Doesn't give you a headache, but it gives you the feeling like you had your head inside a bell and somebody hit it with a hammer.
1-2 to Perez. 1 out in the 12th inning. 6-6 the score. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball, and that's into center field, a base hit. So Tony Perez has his 2nd hit of the game and the 13th hit for the Reds. They will bring up George Foster, who doubled home a pair of runs in the 7th inning to break a 3-3 tie. Geronimo homered in the 8th to make it 6-3, but then Bernie Carbo blasted a 3-run pinch homer into the center field bleachers in the 8th inning. Both teams have had shots since then. The Red Sox had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th and did not score. And the Reds had a runner on, and Evans made a fine play, doubling off Griffey. We've had everything, as Joe has mentioned. 1 out. There's a strike on the corner.
I was watching the monitor strictly when he was pitching to Perez, and he hit that outside corner, and Tony hit a good pitch, and he comes right back with a good fastball on the outside part of the plate to Foster. That's the ground ball pitch, and that's what he's looking for.
He fouls it off to the on-deck circle, and Wise is ahead of Foster, 2 strikes. And as you see, Rick does not like the ball he's been handed. Concepcion is the on-deck batter for Cincinnati. Well, in Game 2, the Reds got 2 in the 9th inning to win 3-2. In Game 3, in 10 innings, they won 6-5. Red Sox won Game 4 5-4. This is a 6-6 game. Only 2 games have been out of hand. Game 1 when Tiant won, and Game 5 when the Reds behind Gullit controlled it. That just missed. 1-2.
It's been a great lesson watching these pitchers that when they do get ahead of the hitter, they do make the pitch work for them, and when they miss away from the power. That ball was outside. There was nothing Foster could do. If he'd have missed inside, he might have stuck one up on the screen.
This sets up inside, and there's a ball hit out to left field. It's a base hit. Fisk was setting up inside. I was off to Fisk, Carbo, as you mentioned before, is playing a deep left field here at Fenway Park. And Foster has his second hit. Reds, with one out, have runners at first and second.
Those last 2 base hits, great examples of a fellow making the pitch he wants to make and a good hitter hitting it. It was not the hitting of a mistake. The ball that Perez hit was low outside. He hit it up the middle. That ball jammed Foster. He was still strong enough to hit it to left field. In fact, sometimes it kind of bugs me whenever you listen to a ball game. Every time a pitcher throws the ball and the guy hits it for a home run, they say it was a high curve ball or it was a mistake. Those were good pitches that were hit by good hitters.
Here's Concepcion, has a single. This is his 6th time up and a stolen base as well. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We're in the top of the 12th inning. 6-6 the score. The Red Sox and the Reds, Game 6 of the World Series. On the corner, Wise has been getting ahead of the batters. Perez at second, Foster the runner at first. Watch Perez check the infielders. Now Burleson shades a bit towards second, yells something to Doyle. A lot of things going on there between pitches. That was high, 1-1. 35,205 here at Fenway Park. Reds had their largest crowd in their history in game number 5 at Riverfront Stadium last Thursday on a fine evening for baseball. 1-1 the count to Concepcion. Out to right field. Evans going back. He makes the catch. The runners went halfway and they go back to their respective bases. 2 down. Perez to second. Foster to first. George Scherger, the coach there. And now we'll see Cesar Geronimo with 2 out in a conference at the mound. Burleson and Wise. Geronimo has 2 hits tonight, a single in the 6th inning, and a home run just inside the foul pole in the right field line in the 8th, and Darrell Johnson out to the mound quickly. No one is warming up in the Red Sox bullpen, just wants to talk to Wise.
That's it exactly, Dick. He just wants to make sure that everybody is together as to how they're going to try to pitch to Wise. No trick pitches here because everything is riding with the tie-breaking run at second base. Johnson just wants to make sure that Wise and Fisk and everybody we're all together.
Darrell Johnson and Sparky Anderson, the respective managers, matching wits in game 6. And we have seen 12 pitchers in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pinch hitters. Here's Geronimo. Petrocelli is about, even with the bag, maybe a step in. Rest of the infield playing back and shaded to the right against Geronimo. Ball 1. We do have activity in the Reds bullpen. As we said, the Red Sox bullpen is quiet. Clay Kirby, who has yet to see any action in the series, is heating up. All right, only Don Gullett and Kirby are the only pitchers remaining. Foul back on the screen. 1-1. Well, Sparky said he was going to use them all if need be.
And he has done it.
Looking ahead to the Red Sox 12th, it'll be Carlton Fisk, Fred Lynn, and Rico Petrocelli. Pat Darcy's done a fine job in relief. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Perez at second, Foster at first. Top of the 12th. Close, no good. 2-1. Crowd thought he had it.
Well, here's that thing we were talking about before, Dick, that Wise is going to make him hit the pitch he wants him to hit. He's not going to give in to him because you got a pitcher coming up.
Here's the 2-1. Cuts and misses. That's a Rick Wise fastball at its best, and the count is 2-2.
And he is spotting it well.
Aren't many players left on the Cincinnati squad to use. Doug Flynn is one. Rettenmund. Plummer. In there, called strike 3, right down the pipe, and Wise strikes out Geronimo. There were 2 hits. The Reds lead 2. We go to the bottom of the 12th of a 6-6 game. Bottom of the 12th inning. We had a 10-inning game in the third series contest, and now we have a 12-inning contest. And it'll be Fisk, Lynn, and Petrocelli against Pat Darcy, who has been very impressive in 2 innings. He has set down 6 Red Sox hitters. Only Clay Kirby and Don Gullett have yet to be used as far as Cincinnati pitching is concerned. Six runs, 14 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Boston. And Fisk will lead it off, has a single and has walked twice. Has been on base 3 times. Actually was safe on a force play. Been retired once tonight on a bouncing ball to short in the 7th. Here's Fisk. And the wind blowing out. We've had 3 homers tonight, all to right field or center field. Carbos was to dead center. The other 2 to right. There's a ball. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a 7th game in this 1975 World Series. Carlton Fisk becomes the first player in the series to hit one over the wall into the net. Red Sox win it 7-6 in 12 innings. And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there, Joe.
He took 1 step, knew it was going to be close. He knew it was gone, and it was dancing in the streets all the way around. Johnny Pesky greets him at first base, and he is dancing as he gets his second base.
It came very close to hitting that foul pole. We'll see how close.
There it is. Pick it up as it comes, and there it is. It did hit it, and Foster did come up with the ball, so there will be a 7th game here tomorrow night.
What a World Series, Joe Garagiola, have we seen here between these 2 clubs. It's fitting that we have a 7th game, you know.
It had to go to the 7th game, Dick, because they've battled and battled. And now tomorrow night it'll be Gullett, Bill Lee, this crowd refusing to leave. Amazing. So their ball club battled back. They've been up and down, clutch plays, clutch catches. And they are just dancing in the streets here as Carlton Fisk brings a 7th game.
A lot of body English for Carlton Fisk. Watch it.
How many steps does he take? 1. He waits to see it. Get over. Get over.
He knew it. There it is.
I tell you, one of the more dramatic home runs in World Series history. And there is Tom Yawkey to the left. Haywood Sullivan. And there are the fans, and the picture says it all.
Well, you won't see many more exciting World Series than the 1975 Classic. All right now let's go down to the field. Tony Kubek. Let's go to Tony Kubek.
All right, well, we've talked a lot. I'm sure you guys have. I'm getting prepared and trying to get Carlton Fisk about the dramatic home run he just hit. This has got to be one of the most dramatic ball games in World Series history, with a great catch by Evans to keep Morgan's ball from almost going into the right field seats. And let's not forget Bernie Carbo and the great home run. Without that, the Red Sox would not have been in this ball game when Fisk hit the big home run. Fisk is being mobbed up the runway. He is not able to get through down here, Joe or Dick. And I'll just throw it right back up to you now and hope that we can get him if we do have time.
Okay, Tony, we can appreciate your problem there, because as he hit the home run, the fans just poured onto the field. And you saw Fisk not only being congratulated by Johnny Pesky, but by the fans as he rounded third base.